A very good evening to you all. Welcome to the first lecture of Financial Management paper of ACCA. I hope all of you are doing well. We are going to be starting with an introduction and an orientation session. I would request someone who has logged in as Samsung SM to please log in using your name. It will be easier for me to mention you if needed. Kindly please log in using your name, or you can message me your name here once, and then later when you log in, you can use your name. All right. So we will begin with an introduction to the FM paper. But before that, I would want to introduce myself to you, and I'll want to hear from you also. What's your journey like? Okay. So I'll begin. So I'm Anushka Jain. I am a chartered accountant, qualified in 2017, and I completed it in the first attempt. So next, I after my qualification, I started working with Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages in Bangalore. So there I was working in the internal controls division. And post that, I took up ACCA in 2019. Since I was a CA, I had to appear for just 4 papers at the strategic professional level. So I gave Advanced Financial Management as the first paper in June 2019. I got world rank 2 and all India rank 1 in the paper. So I've always been passionate about finance, and my work profile also, which I will explain to you later. It has always revolved around finance. So it really gives me an edge when I appeared for the paper. And then in the next attempt, I took up SBL and SBR. I gave 2 papers together and I passed them. And then finally, I attempted the APM paper in December 2019, with which I completed my preparation, my journey of ACCA in some 6 to 7 months. So I've been very much interested in the course, and that's the reason I took up coaching the ACCA students in 2020. So it's almost about 5 years that I've been teaching the students, and I've taught many batches of advanced financial management, advanced performance management, financial management, and performance management papers. These being my core areas. Okay. So with that said, again, coming back to my work experience. So I first worked with Coca-Cola. That's a soft beverage company. And then I moved to hard liquor, which is the alcohol company, and that is Pernod Ricard India. It is the market leader today in terms of the alcoholic spirits industry. You might know it by the brands like Imperial Blue, Royal Stag, Blenders Pride. So these are all the commonly known brands of Pernod Ricard. And then I moved to Flipkart. Flipkart, I'm sure you all would have heard. So I was working with Flipkart in Bangalore. And then when I was working here, after about 2.5 years, I got a call back from my ex-company, which is Pernod Ricard, to join them. And I joined them as the head of finance for Northeastern business. So I'm currently working as the RFM, the regional finance manager for Pernod Ricard India. Okay, and alongside, I've been taking classes, as I mentioned, for about 5 years now. So that teaching is really something which I am doing out of passion. I really enjoy associating with the students. And of course, the subject areas, it really excites me. And that's what brings me to coaching with every batch. And with that said, that's about me. My hometown is Guwahati, and I'm currently based out of Guwahati right now. And with that, I would hand over to you. I will want to know about yourself, your name, your city, where your status is in terms of in ACCA journey, As in, if you have attempted any paper before, or if it is your first paper, if you're working, where you're working, and if anyone of you has taken, because I can see some common names in the list, if you have taken subjects from me before, please mention that also. Okay, so let's begin. Please let me know about yourself. Please use the chat box to type in your introduction. Balkrishna from Shimla. So you're taking two subjects, Balkrishna? PM as well as FM. All right. Same as Varsha. Varsha is also taking two papers. Okay. All right. So I've just met Balkrishna and Varsha in my last subject paper, which I was taking earlier this evening. Others also, please let me know about yourself. And whoever has logged in from Samsung, please let me your name. Let me know your name also. Mohammed is okay. The message disappeared. Yeah. Join back after an hour and a half. It's gonna be otherwise repetitive for you because the introduction is gonna be same. Okay. Arshia is a BCom graduate from Bangalore. Is it your first paper, Arshia? Or you have appeared for ACCA papers before? And are you working? All right, let me know which paper have you attempted? Oh, great. So Prabjot, yeah, I could see, recall your name. All right, so Prabjot has already taken PM classes and cleared. Very happy about that. And become second year exam and eighth exam in a row. That's very nice, Prabjot. Good going. Okay, so Jata Mishra from UP and currently working in EXL, Bangalore. Semi-qualified CA, and this is my first ACCA paper. All right, Varsha. Okay, you're planning for three papers. Very good. So you're taking classes for FR also, Varsha? All right, good. Okay, it's been a long day for you, huh? You can take some rest. You can join back in an hour because the content for the introduction will be similar only. And then next Saturday onwards, of course, it's gonna be hectic because, of course, the content will be different. So Shivnath is from Chennai. Yes, I could recall your name. Doing BCom from correspondence, eighth paper. Did you qualify, Shivnath? PM is done now, or you just appeared in December? I think you appeared in December, no? That's gonna be a little hectic for you, Varsha. The entire day. Then this Saturday is still fine, you're getting an hour. But next Saturday will get hectic. Okay, Shiv has given PM in December. I hope you get very good results. How were the exams? How did you find the paper? Mohammad Umair is from Pakistan, currently residing in UAE. I am a student. I've passed six papers. Okay, so you have come from the knowledge level. Very good. That gives you a very strong foundation. Previous week, I gave double A paper. Okay. How about you, Parv, Shivani? Shivani, did you introduce yourself? I think Shivani hasn't. Mohit, Kanika. Kanika, I think you have been one of my past students. I'll recall your name. Mohit, BCom graduate, semi-qualified CA, native is Raebareli, currently working in Ahmedabad, in Source KPO. Working experience of around 12 and a half years. Oh, that's great. Okay, you're planning to give two papers, FM and FR. All right. So good, good, good. So I really appreciate. So what brings you back, Mohit, to studies after so many years of work experience? I've had a lot of such students, and it's really interesting to know the stories. So what brings you back to studies now, like after so many years of working? Anil Sani, you can also please send me your introduction. Okay, very good. I'm really glad that you made this choice, and I really hope you have a successful journey ahead, Mohit. It's really a very difficult decision to make after working for so many years. It becomes very difficult to get back to studies, and I'm glad you have taken up ACCA as a professional course. It's gonna be very useful in progressing ahead in your career, and I'm really glad. Even just getting back, taking that step is so courageous. I really wish you learn a lot and are able to pass all the exams. Yes, Anil is a BCom student planning to give FM paper in March. Okay. Shivani is from Ghaziabad. Seventh exam. Oh, nice. Previous week I gave double A paper and had 2+ years of work experience. Shivani, have you taken class from me earlier? I had a student, Shivani. I'm not sure if you're the same. No, you haven't. Okay. All right. So good to know about you all. And I understand that it's a mixed batch. Some of you are having some experience with ACCA, some of you for it's the first paper. So, all right, I will treat all of you as at par, having no knowledge whatsoever. And I'm going to teach all the concepts in a fair manner so that all of you are able to relate to it equally. Okay, on that note, I will start off the orientation session. Parv, okay, Parv is sending the message. Working in a bank in Jaipur, recently attempted the FR exam. Okay, all right. And I'm assuming all of you are preparing yourself for the March 25 paper. Anyone who is planning to give in June? All of you set for March, right? Varsha, did you join late? I think I did my introduction first. So I'm a CA. I qualified in 2017 in the first attempt. And then I've joined in companies like, I worked in companies like Coca-Cola, then Pernod Ricard. Pernod Ricard is a liquor company. Then Flipkart. And finally, I'm back in Pernod Ricard. The company called me back as their head of finance for the Northeastern sales. And I have been teaching students ACCA about 5 years now. I started teaching after I qualified in 2019. So that's my introduction in short. And I really, really enjoy teaching students. So it just gives me all the energy boost I need to keep myself going during the weekends also. No, I'm not teaching CA. I'm just teaching ACCA. All right. So in ACCA, I am taking three papers currently. That's FM, PM, and AFM. So I qualified the AFM paper with World Rank 2 and All India Rank 1. That was my first paper, which I gave in June 2019. All right. So on that note, yes, and I really have had students. So one of my students in the AFM paper only, they got world rank 1. That was a level up from me also. So she got world rank 1 in just batches back, 2 or 3 batches back. World rank 1 and all India rank 1, of course, in the AFM paper. A lot of success stories in FM also. So I'm sure I'm gonna help you in your journey. I'll try my best to do that, and there will be complete support from my side. Just what I need from you all is to giving your best and to follow the guidance which I give. You all will definitely pass the exam. Yes. All right. So on that note, let's begin. So what the exam is going to look like. So financial management is a computer-based exam. So no longer you will be solving your papers on a pen and paper. You're going to be answering the questions on an computer. Okay. So it's going to be a computer-based exam. Get accustomed to it. So any one of you who has logged in using a mobile, is there anyone who has logged in using a mobile today? All of you from laptop? That's good. Arshia has logged in using a mobile. Okay, anyone else? All right. Tablet also not possible. So please, next time onwards now, please log in using your laptops. I'll tell you a couple of reasons. First thing, it's going to be a computer-based exam, so you have to be prepared from day one itself how to write and type on a computer, in how to use Excel or how to use MS Word to draft your answers. Because I know so far you must have been habituated using pen and paper to solve exams. But since you have to give exams on a computer, start practicing from today itself. Okay. So next, today it's just an introduction and an orientation class. So that's okay. But next class onwards, please log in using a laptop. First, this is one reason because you have to practice for the exam. Second is when you practice on the laptop for the next 2.5, 3 months, your typing speed will improve. Okay, because you'll have timed exam, right? It's a 3-hour exam, so limited time that you have, so you have to type very fast to develop your typing speed along with the classes, because we are going to do a lot of question practice in class itself. I'm going to give you time to solve questions in a class. So when you solve that, solve it on your MS Word or MS Excel, and then in this process you will start learning your Excel skills also. Okay, because when I solve in Excel, you can also see and replicate how to solve, and that's possible only if you join in using your laptop. And the third reason is you become more attentive. I've seen when you're doing the classes on mobile now, there is some sort of distraction. Agree to it or not, but you will find that when you log in using your mobile, there are some distractions on the mobile. So when you're doing it on a laptop, you find it as a more professional setup. You are able to focus more. So be 100% attention in the class, because it's going to be very crisp, where everything which you need to know will be covered and in the best possible manner. So you have to be very, very attentive throughout the class. Okay, so make sure next time onwards, log in using your laptops. Okay, not even tablets, because you don't get keyboard on the laptop, I mean on the tablets. So make sure next time it's a laptop. Okay. That's also a good question. So Varsha is suggesting that since the layout of the laptop keyboard is different from a physical keyboard, because in exam you're gonna get a desktop and a keyboard if you go opt for a computer-based exam. So you can actually purchase. It won't cost a lot. Purchase an external keyboard. You can use that. Okay, every center has a different keyboard, so I cannot suggest any one particular keyboard. But yes, layout is different. If you're able to practice on a physical keyboard, that's better actually. But okay, that's just a recommendation. You can go for it. Okay, all right. So computer-based exams are there, but there are two modes in which you can appear for the computer-based exam. One is you can go for center-based exam, and the other one is that you can go for a remote exam. So if you're going for a center-based exam, you'll have to travel to a center. It will be completely like a normal exam setup, except the fact that instead of pen and paper, you will have a desktop and a keyboard in front of you. Okay, where you have to solve. And the other mode is remote exam, whereby you can solve the paper from your home only. You can solve the exam from your home, but then you have to make sure you have a steady internet connection. Your laptop or computer is up to date with the necessary requirements which they have. So whichever mode you're comfortable with, go for that. my recommendation is always first preference is towards a center based exam. If possible, go for that. If it's not possible for you, then you can, of course, opt for remote exam. Okay, so that's about uh, the type of the mode of conducting the exam. Now, approach to examining. So, there is no choice in this exam. All questions have to be answered. So, whatever number of questions are there, we'll come to that. But whatever questions are there, all of them will be mandatory. There is no optional question in the paper. I will show you the paper also. You will see that there is no optional question. All the questions which are there in the exam, you have to answer that. Also, there is no negative marking. So don't be afraid that if I attempt anything wrong, my marks will get deducted. Nothing like that. And I'm sure all of you who have attempted the papers before, you all know this. So, no negative marking. You should try to attempt all the questions. Exam duration will be of 3 hours. And let me tell you, it's very important to manage time. I will discuss time management skills with you all in the upcoming slides. But you have to time yourself. Even while you're preparing yourself, you have to time your solving time so that you are able to bring yourself up to speed. Okay, so exam duration is of 3 hours and pass mark is 50%. So it's a 100-mark paper. You have to score minimum 50 to pass it and move to the next exam. Okay. Now coming to the exam structure. So total, there are going to be 3 sections. Section A, B and C. Section A and B, they will have objective test questions. Section C, it will have constructed response or in some simple descriptive questions. Okay, here you have to develop your answer properly. And these will be like objective tests. Now, let me tell you, these are not MCQ questions. It's not like selecting one option out of 4. I will show you the different type of questions. So, it's not an MCQ. You have to select options or you may have to type in your answers also. But yes, they will be just one word answer or like a simple number that you have to put in the answer box. So those types of questions, they are there in section A and B. Now, what is the difference between section A and B? Let's come to that. Section A will comprise of 15 questions and each of these questions are independent of each other. They have no relation with what is asked before or after. So all the 15 questions are going to be independent. And each question is going to carry 2 marks. So 15 questions into 2, that is 30 marks is there for section A objective test questions. Okay. Please pause me if you get any doubt or any thought that you want to share, anything at all, please let me know in the chat box. I will take it up. Then coming to section B, it is also having objective test question. Here, there will be 3 questions, 3 scenario-based questions. So each of these scenarios will have 5 sub-parts to it. 3 questions, 3 scenarios, and 5 sub-parts to it. And these sub-parts could be interrelated. It could be, that is, may or may not be interrelated. So 3 scenarios, 5 questions each. Again, each of these questions also carry 2 marks. Okay. So 5 questions into 2 marks each, that is 10. So each of these scenarios carrying 10 marks. So 3 into 10, that is 30 marks in section B. Clear? Then comes section C. Section C is constructed response, which I told you is that means it's a descriptive question. Number of questions will be 2 over here. 2 scenarios will be there and very detailed scenarios. I'm going to show this all to you today only in the class. So 2 detailed questions and each of these questions are going to carry 20 marks each. Now, what is going to be the split of these 20 marks? It's not specified by ACCA. It could be one question also for 20 marks. It could be 5 questions split into different marks, 5, 7, 3, 2, 5, whatever it is. So the total marks 20 could be split in different parts in a format which is not specified. Okay, but yes, two different scenarios will be there, and the total marks for each of these scenarios will be 20. So that makes it 40 marks for descriptive answers. And total time which you're going to get is 3 hours, adds up to 100 marks. Please take 2 minutes, observe what is given over here, and tell me if you're fine. If you have any doubts, any random thing which you have in your mind about the exam, please feel free to ask. If there are no doubts, let me know. I'll move ahead to the next slide. Okay, Mohammed says in section B, if the question asks to select two options, will we get 1 mark if we were to get one right, or we will lose both the marks? Very, very important questions, and I get that in every batch. The question is, okay, so one of the types of questions which get asked in section A and section B is that you have to select two options, or maybe three options, even four options. Very clearly, you will get marks, 2 marks, only if you select all the options correctly. If you have selected just one option, or you selected two options, but one of them is incorrect, you will not get marks. Number of options that you have to select that many, and all of them must be correct to get 2 marks. Clear? So there is no partial marking in section A and B because section A and B are marked by a computer. There is no human involvement. It gets automatically calculated. Only section C is evaluated by a human. Section A and B, no human looks at it. It will get evaluated by the computer and you get marks only if complete answer is correct. There is no partial marking. Okay, remember this, huh? A and B are computer marked and C is human marked. All right. Whenever you're putting in your questions or any chat now, please mark it to everyone so that everyone who is there in the class can read it. Okay. Anyways, I will read it aloud so that those who are attending the video lectures, they will also be able to understand. But otherwise, you can just post your comments to everyone. What is the class timing? Class will be till 9 p.m. We'll be taking a small break in between around 6. We'll take some 10-15 minute break and then continue our, not 6, sorry, around 7. We'll take a break around 7 and then we'll continue till 9 p.m. Okay. So the classes, I'll just repeat the schedule. Everyone, please listen to me. The classes will be on Tuesday, Thursday, 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Okay, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 to 9:30 a.m. 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And on Saturdays, we'll have our class from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay. All right. So I'll move to the next slide. No queries here. Okay. Shiv says, for constructed response question, will it be both calculative answers and descriptive answers? Yes. So section C question, it involves both your theory questions also, practical questions also. Wherever there is a theory question, you will be given a word processor file to write your answer. Wherever there is a practical question, you will be given a spreadsheet file to write your answer. So both types of questions can come in section C. Like you would have seen in PM paper Shift, the same way you will see it here also in the FM paper. All right, moving on. Do let me know if there is any query, okay? The resources which you need to pass the exam If you see, there's just 5 things here, but very important 5 things, I must say. So we will be using VGLD publication. I was just going to come to that. We're going to be using VGLD book in the class. And let me tell you, please stick to just one book. I know when you have time in the beginning, you feel that you will do BPP also, Kaplan also, this also, that also, any private publication also. Please do not fall for it. If you are strong in your conceptual understanding, any question that comes your way, you will be able to solve. So VGLD book has got a lot of questions for practice. So we will be covering that. And the syllabus is also completely comprehensive. I've reviewed that. So don't worry at all. The publication is going to include your content as well as the questions for practice. So what the schedule or structure of a class is gonna be, let me tell that. And everyone, please listen to me carefully. Be very careful. First thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be covering the content from the VGLD book. Okay, we're gonna go chapter wise, chapter 1, 2, 3, and we'll progress into the curriculum. And next is we are going to do a lot of question practice in class itself from the book, and wherever needed I feel that this is a quite good question for practice, I will punch in some questions from my side so that you can practice in the class. So in class we do content plus a lot of question practice. I will explain you a concept, then I'll give you a question, you will get time to solve, and then we discuss the answers, and I'll give you improvement areas where you went wrong, you'll understand that also. So that is the best advantage of attending live classes, and I would really request you all to please be regular in the class so that you're able to follow. Otherwise you miss one class, it becomes very difficult to catch up. Okay, so we do content and question solving in class. Now, after each chapter is complete, have you all got the VGLD book so far? Anyone who has got it? And if you have not got it, then also let me know, please. Mohammed has got the BPP book. Okay. Um, Mohammed, please reach out to Sandeep. He's there in the WhatsApp group. Um, uh-huh. So those of you who are registering in the latest batch, I'll also message him once. 1 second. Okay, I've also messaged him. Please reach out to him personally also and let me know if you face any issue. He will definitely help you. We are going to be using VGLD book. So get a copy of that. Okay. And anyone who has got the VGLD book, no one. Shivani, I think you have got the VGLD book. No, you have messaged yes. Others are telling me that they've got BPP book. Okay, Shiv has messaged you've got the books, but it is in transit. Okay, all of you, reach out to Sandeep. He's there in the WhatsApp group. I hope all of you are added in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, VGLD book is different. VGLD book is different from the BPP book. Okay. Yes. So coming back, he's there in the WhatsApp group. I hope all of you are added in the WhatsApp group. Please confirm. Have you been added to the? I'll just call out the name. 1 second. FM Weekend Weekdays live online batch December 24. Okay, please get yourself added. No, BPP is a publication, Varsha. But we are not using BPP in our classes. We will be using uh, VGLD publication only. VGLD has published its book. So we are going to be using that. Arshia, have you registered yourself? If you have registered, please get yourself added to the WhatsApp group, okay? Tell Sandeep to add you and he will do that. Okay. You have got BPP book for December attempt. No worries. I've also messaged Sandeep. He will help you out. So just reach out to him on Monday. Okay. So reach out to him on Monday and you'll get the book. No worries. Okay. So we follow VGLD book now. After each chapter completion, you will solve the questions from the backside. So as I told you, we have content and then we have chapter wise questions in the backside. Please solve the questions of that chapter after it is completed in the class. Why is it important? Because couple of things. Your concepts gets revised immediately. And wherever you get a doubt, you can write down the question number and please ask me in the class and I will help you out. I'll solve the question for you. So, any doubts that you get, just note it down and reach out to me in the class and I will solve it. So, that's the best thing. You get immediate doubt resolution because I don't like keeping doubts till the end just before the exam. I'll keep taking up doubts in regular classes only. Anyways, we are meeting 3 days in a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So you get an ample opportunity to get your doubts clarified immediately. So make use of the live classes. Uh, Whenever there are doubts, I take it up initially in the class and then we progress towards the regular content for the class. So that's gonna be there. So solve all the questions. And now what you have to do, very, very important. This is regarding your preparation strategy. So first thing, you solve all the questions like this. Chapter wise, you solve all the questions. And by the time your syllabus is over, all the chapters will you will be able to you would have completed the first round of question solving. Now one thing which you have to do is create chapter wise Excel files in which you are going to be putting the solution of that particular chapter's questions. Create different tabs for each question and solve it there. That will be your version of your Excel version of the solution of the VGLD book. And what you have to do, and another thing which you have to do is you will create a list of those questions which you found difficult. Okay. So, like these particular questions, you were not able to solve correctly in the first go, although you knew the concept from the class, because I'm telling you to solve the questions after the chapter is completely done. So, you were not able to do it. So, maybe you understood it while reading the explanation given in the book, or you discussed it in the class and now you have understood it. Whatever it is, but it is a difficult question and you did it incorrectly. So, make a list of all of those questions. Okay. So you will make it in a different Excel sheet and you call it questions for second practice. And then once you are done, so maybe there are around 250 to 300 questions in the VGLD book. So after you have done that in the first round, so there will be easy questions also, there will be difficult questions also. About, let's say, 150 questions you have listed down for the second round. So after the class is over, when the syllabus gets over, you will. So you are gonna be doing the questions which you have jotted down for the second round. Okay. So very, very important to, in this way, you get to complete 3 rounds. I'll come to how 3 rounds. So second round, you're going to be doing on the basis of the questions which you have highlighted during the first round. It may be the difficult questions or it may be some good questions, because sometimes not the questions are very good. And I also sometimes tell that, okay, this is a good question, you keep it for practice again. So when you put across these questions and the important questions or the good questions where the concept gets completed in its entirely, the question is tricky. So that way you will have a list of the questions, about 150, 170 questions, which you complete in the second round. Now, when you are doing the second round of questions, let's say you will again make some mistake. It's possible because there are some difficult questions, of course, and then there are some good questions also. So that you're going to highlight again for the third round. Okay. So this you should know from day one itself, because you're going to be practicing questions now, and you have to start jotting down the questions for the second round today itself. So not something that you have to do after the syllabus is over. Okay. So during the second round, you will highlight the questions for the third round, and for third round, you will have maybe like 50 to 60 questions. Right? That you will do right before the exam. So in this way, you have done 3 rounds of question solving that will prepare you for the exam. Right? So Shivani says, ma'am, if someone is not able to attend weekdays classes, how will one cover the missing chapters? Or like in weekend classes, it's like a fresh start. No, we are gonna go in a flow. So if you miss the class, you should be able to get the recorded lecture by the next day. Anyways, we are gonna have a 1 day break in between our classes. So you should be able to get the recorded lecture. Sometimes it takes up to 2 days also. So maybe not immediately. You might have to just then view through 2 lectures later. It might cause a little confusion. Try to be regular as much as possible. You will have recorded lecture backup, but the timing of it is still, it might not be immediately available. So plan accordingly. Mostly the team makes it ready by the next day, so you should be able to get it. But still, um, it might extend up to 2 days also. Okay, so do not miss the classes unless absolutely necessary that you can't attend, then it's okay. But otherwise, try to be regular in the class. Okay, Shivani? So there will be recorded lectures. Everything is getting recorded, so you will get access to it. It's just the timing piece which you have to manage a little. All right. So coming back to where I was, so I was mentioning about the 3 rounds of the question practice that you have to do. Okay. Now, next, that's about your strategy for question solving. Another thing which we are going to do is I'm going to be keeping tests for you. Minimum, I try to keep 2 tests for each batch. And these tests will be really, really helpful. And I've had students asking me, man, please keep one more test. I want to practice these topics. So they've really helped the students. So I'll try to keep minimum 2. For that, I'll keep extra class on Sunday, and I'll inform you in advance. So just keep yourself up to date throughout so that it doesn't come like a shocker that I have an exam tomorrow and I don't know anything. Okay. So keep yourself updated, keep practicing the concepts regularly so that whenever we have a test, you are all set and it becomes really useful. And I'll tell you how we do the tests also. So I'll give you section wise questions and I give you some time to solve the entire section's questions, and then I discuss the answers. And wherever you feel you have your weak areas, we can discuss those concepts also during the test class. So in this way, you practice questions, you can understand where your weak areas are. Because unless you practice, in a mixed manner, you sometimes don't realize which your weak areas are. So that way, tests really help you. Okay. So that's what we're going to do when it comes to the trainings from VGLD. Okay. And this will be your preparation strategy. We are also going to be doing mock paper. So before every exam, so let's exams are done quarterly, right? In March, June, September, and December. Before every attempt, ACCA releases its mock exam. So if I'll just show it to you for December attempt. So last attempt was December attempt, right? So ACCA had released its December 24 mock exam. I'll show you where it is released. So we will be doing one mock exam also in the class. So from my side, I will definitely put in my best because I've been teaching students, so I know what works best for the students. So what you have to do is just be dedicated, be regular in the classes, and keep yourself in touch with the notes, with the question practice. That's all I'm asking out of you. Try to devote hours regularly to the preparation. Okay, don't keep things for the last. That means like once the syllabus is over, I'll take it up then. I'm telling you, it will be too late. Okay, because I know there are some students, maybe it's because no option was available, and then you start towards the end. Everyone who does that is in a panic mode, and sometimes they pass, maybe by just at the borderline, or sometimes they flunk. And I don't want you to do that, because I've had a lot of successful batches, and I really wish and hope you will also continue the battle, right? So that's about trainings from VGLD. I'll show you a thing. So what you have to do is open your browser. Okay. And type in ACCA exam timetable. Type in ACCA exam timetable and click enter. Okay. So ACCA exam timetables, this is what it is here. Click on the first link and then scroll down. And then you will see the schedule for March 2025 attempt. Okay. So March 2025, your FM exam is on Friday. Correction. So FM exam is on Friday, which is 7th of March. Remember this date? 7th of March is your exam date. And I will be completing the syllabus. I will be completing the syllabus by the mid of Feb. So if you were to ask me a date, so 15th Feb is the mid of Feb. Maybe a class, two or three class here and there, again, because it depends a lot on how the class is progressing, how much you are able to understand, how many doubts you get. So it depends on a lot of factors. Mostly I endeavor to complete the syllabus by the mid of Feb, or else maybe by 20th, plus one 2 to 3 class here and there, the syllabus should get completed. Okay, so you will get a lot of time to practice, to do the second round and all. So you will get a lot of time to do that. So make use of your time now. Keep revising, because by the time syllabus is over, it's gonna be just revision. So the first part you have to do on your own with the classes. Okay. Anyways, the schedule is very tight. You just have 3 months, so you have to be very geared up for all the papers. Okay. All right, so coming back, one more thing which I want to show you is, let's go to the student section here and click on study support resources. And then ACCA qualification. So what I did is hover over student section, then study support resources, and then you have to click on ACCA qualification, and then scroll down and select FM. Are you there with me so far? All of you, please confirm. Yes. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see the pass rate for the FM exam. So it's about 49, 48, 48, 48, and in the latest September 24 attempt, it was 52%. So FM as a paper has got a very good pass rate. And I'm sure those of you who are coming from CA background, you would be wondering what this is like. But I'll tell you why the pass rate in ACCA is high. It's not because ACCA is easy or CA is difficult, nothing like that. The reason is that ACCA gives you the flexibility. So in CA you have I'm just giving you an evaluation. So in CA you have to attempt the papers in a group, maybe 4 papers, or if you are attempting 2 papers, 2 groups, then you have to appear for 8 papers or 7 papers, whatever there is now. So there is no flexibility. You have to pass all the exams in that one sitting. Whereas with ACCA, what happens is you can pick and choose whichever papers you want to appear. Maybe you can appear 1 paper, 2 paper, 3 papers. Like we have Varsha is attempting 3 papers, or someone might be attempting just 1 paper, and it's all right. You don't have to pressurize yourself. If you're comfortable with 1 paper, it's good enough. Okay, because you have to, it's said that to each his own. Everyone have a different schedule. So how much you're able to accommodate, see. And it's okay to give one paper because anyways the exams are held quarterly. So you keep getting more chances in a year. So ACCA as a pass rate is, FM as a pass rate has 52%. That means out of 100 students who appeared, 52 passed. And this is not even a benchmark for me. I have had very high pass rates, hovering about 75 to 80% of the students pass. So you have to keep that in mind that I'm not in this 50% category. For me, all of you have to pass. It's just what I expect out of you is dedication and uh, consistency that you are regularly studying. Okay. So this is the FM pass rate. Globally, it's good, and you just have to put in the hard work. You will also be passing the exam for sure. Okay. Now, coming back, so that was about trainings from VGLD. So what are we going to do in class? Content, question practice, tests, homework, and towards the end, mock exam. So this is the strategy we are going to be following for this paper, right, in the class. Next is ACCA Study Hub. So let's come to Google again. So type in ACCA Study Hub. Please type this on your browser. Bear with me so far. Type in ACCA Study Hub, click enter, and you're going to see this link by accaglobal.com. Everyone, please follow the instructions along with me. Click on this ACCA Study Hub. And scroll down. And you will be able to see this part. All of you, please confirm if you have reached this spot here. The ACCA Study Hub is available now. Prabhjot has confirmed. Others also, please let me know if you have reached here. The screen which you're seeing on my screen here. Yeah? All right. So then you click on alternate login here. Okay? Click on alternate login. And you have to enter your username and password here. You would have got your My ACCA credentials. Please use that. If any one of you have not got your My ACCA credentials, please reach out to Sandeep again. They will be doing your registration and sharing your credentials. It's a very important access that you have. So get your credentials. And if anyone of you face any challenge, let me know. Sandeep is also there in the WhatsApp group. You can message him in the group or you can message him personally in the WhatsApp window. That's okay. But get access to it. Anyone who does not have access to my ACC account so far? All of you have the access? Varsha doesn't have, yes. Otherwise, all of you have, right? Okay. I just forgot your name. What was it? Sujata. Okay, Sujata, you do not have the access. Mostly it will be orientation, I think, or maybe starting of the initial chapter, because orientation normally takes about 3.5 hours. So maybe towards the end, we will be doing this starting of the chapter. Okay. Okay, Sujata also doesn't have. Now, please reach out. Have you registered yourself? You've completed the registration, Sujata? Okay, so then you should have your ID. Please reach out to Sandeep and you will get it. Maybe they will have it ready. So you'll get it from them. Okay. So log in using your My ACCA account credential. Just click on sign into My ACCA. Those of you who have the access, perform the steps along with me. And anywhere if you get, uh, you get left back, let me know. I'll repeat the steps. Then once you have logged in, you have to go to this part, not yet started. Click on this, not yet started, and you will see this. For exams from September 2024 to June 2025, FM, with this thumbnail picture. Please see if you're able to get it. You will see this in this part, not yet started. I have already started it before, so that's why it is showing in the dashboard for me. Once you have also started, it will start appearing in the dashboard, so you don't have to search for it again and again. Please search for it here. You will get this particular thumbnail picture. Let me know if you find it. Just confirm okay or yes. If you get it, if you're not able to get it, let me know. This is the thumbnail picture you should be able to see. What happened? Why is there so much silence? What happened? Able to get it or not get it? You'll get it in this part. Not yet started. Am I audible? What happened? Yeah? Okay. So click on study. And this loading will happen for you. And this screen will pop up over here. Okay, some chapter wise content is there. This you don't need. As I said, just refer to one book, that's enough. So just come to this section, flashcards. Are you all able to see this? Flashcards, and you click on list here. Click on list, okay, and you will see a list of important terminologies from the FM point of view, financial management point of view. What is financial management? What is corporate governance? One liner explanations. These are called flashcards because just in a flash, you will be able to understand what that term means. Okay. What is supply side policies? I'm telling you, there are questions on the supply side policies. Policies which focus on creating the right conditions in which private enterprise can grow and therefore raise the capacity of the economy to provide the output demanded. Why I'm asking you to refer to this list, what you have to do is click on print here. Click on print. And save it. You can save it as a PDF file. What you have to do is use that PDF file to print it and put it up on your study table. Very important is that, anytime you're sitting for studies, your eyes will lay down on these important terms, like financial intermediaries, what it means, what is inflation, what is Islamic finance, what it prohibits. So it becomes, eye catchy. That's the whole intent. Please take out a print. These are all terms which you're going to learn in the class. You don't have to memorize it. I'm not asking you to memorize. It's just that when it is in front of you, randomly you read something, and then you never know, it might help you in exam. Okay? So take out a print. There are total 76 key words. You can consider it like a definition of important terminology from FM point of view. I hope you all understood. What you have to do is take out a print of this particular PDF file. Okay, so this is one section. It's just, of course, for one-time use. Once you have printed it, no point in again coming back to it. Anyways, it's going to be the same. Another thing which you can use is this section, which is quizzes. After each chapter is done, what have I asked you to do? To practice the questions from the backside. Correct? All the questions, chapter-wise, which are there, you have to practice that. Another thing which you have to do is to practice the quiz questions chapter wise. Okay, I'll just show it to you for one of the papers here, for one of the chapters here. Chapter 1 quiz. So you click on start quiz. There are 5 questions. Very simple. It will hardly take you 30 seconds, 1 minute, or 2 minutes max to max. So which of the following is never consistent with the objective of maximizing shareholder wealth? Okay. So let's say I've selected C. Randomly, I'm just selecting. And then selecting the options. Just like that. So what do you see? I got 2 answers right out of 5, 40% correct. And now I can review it also. Okay. So let's say I selected this option. So this is the correct option. It says that it's giving you the reason why it is the correct answer. At no time is satisfying that this company managers doing just enough to satisfy the shareholders. Remember this. Satisfying means what? I'll come back to it later, don't worry. It means that whenever managers are acting just to impress the shareholders, that is just to satisfy the shareholders, consistent with the maximization of shareholder wealth, this is not consistent with the objective of maximizing shareholder wealth. In fact, it might harm the shareholder wealth. So that is the explanation. You will get the answers here, and in this way, you can evaluate your preparation, like how well you are doing, what concept you messed up. So, for example, this one, it is an incorrect answer. You can understand the answer explanation here. And of course, if you're not able to understand from here, you can reach out to me. I'll definitely help you. Okay. So question 3 of 5, 4 of 5, all the questions. So five questions. Just 5 questions are there in each quiz. So you can answer from here. Right? So after every chapter is done, go solve the quiz, go solve the questions from the backside of the VGLD book. That's like a duty that you have to do. I may not say it after every chapter completion. I may say it sometimes, but that doesn't mean you have to do it only when I say. After every chapter completion, you should be able to solve all the questions of that particular chapter. Clear? So these are the 2 aspects which you have to use out of the study hub. Flashcards is one time. If you have taken the print already, you can just, taken out the PDF, you can just print it later and put it across on your study table. And quiz is something which you can come out and practice after every chapter completion. Okay. Now I'll come back to it again here. Are you all able to follow me? Any doubts so far? I see a lot of silence in the class. I hope all of you are fine. Any doubt, do not feel shy that it might be a small doubt, silly doubt, nothing like that. Just message me and I'll take it up. I hope all of you are able to follow me. Anything, any observation that you have, you can share. Okay. Good to go ahead. Can I move to the next resource that I have to cover? Yeah. All right. So we'll move to the next aspect, and very, very important is the ACCA CBE. CBE is computer based exam. So ACCA CBE practice platform, and I'll show you how you can access that. And again, do it along with me. Go to Google and type ACCA practice platform. Type it along with me. ACCA practice platform and enter. And click on this one. The link by ACCA Global, past exams and question practice. Click on this. Scroll down and click on this. Log into the practice platform. Please confirm if you're able to see this part. Log into the practice platform. Yeah. Okay. If you click on this, consider bookmarking this, okay? Because you don't want to follow the same long steps all the time by going to Google first. Because like if you see, I've also made such bookmarks. Okay. So you can also make a bookmark, and then this particular screen will open up. And then what you have to do is scroll down, click on this financial management. Click on financial management and then click on this ACCA official resources. Now 3 parts will open up. Everyone, please do it along with me, okay? Click on ACCA official resources here, and then you will see 3 subparts opening up: past exam library, practice exams, and specimen exams. So click on practice exams, and you will see 3 exams over here: practice exam 1, practice exam 2, and then pre-December 24 mock exam. I was telling you now, before every exam, ACCA releases a mock. It's given over here, practice exam. So once your exam attempt comes in like March 2025, somewhere in February, they will release the mock. So FM pre-March 2025, you will see it gets updated. Then December 24 mock will be pulled back, and then March 25 mock will be put here. So you will see assign buttons. I've already assigned them before, so for me it's showing as unassigned. If you click on assign button, okay, do it with me. Click on assign button for FM practice exam 1. And then you will see a tab opening up over here with this name, FM past and practice exams. Okay. So you click on this, and then you will be seeing one more tab here with the name FM practice exam 1. Okay. FM practice exam 1. What you have to do is click on resume. So Sujata, have you logged into the practice platform here? Are you able to see this screen? Are you there on the practice platform? Are you able to see this screen? Please confirm. Is this screen visible to you or not? Oh, credential not working. So then you'll have to reset your password. Because you have to log into the practice platform using those credentials only. See if you're able to reset. Do you have the correct ID password with you? So you'll have to use the correct ID and password, and then you will be able to see this particular screen here. Yeah, reset it post lecture, and I'll just repeat the steps for you. Very simple. You will see a catalog of all the subjects here. Okay. Or you can just, yeah, for credentials, you try resetting. If that works, okay. Or if not, then you can reach out to Sandeep. He will help. So then in the right hand side, you will see a catalog of subjects. You have to click on financial management, and then you have to click on ACCA official resources, and then click on practice exams. ACCA official resources, then practice exams, and then click on assign button over here against FM practice exam 1. Sorry. So FM practice exam 1, you have to click on assign button here, and then this tab here will automatically open up for FM past and practice exams. And you will see one part. I've opened multiple exams, so for me it's showing so many exams, but don't worry. You will see this FM practice exam 1. You have to click on start here. Okay, once you click on start, for me it's showing resume because I've already opened it before. So I click on resume, you will be seeing a start button. So when you click on start, you will see some instructions. Please click next at the right bottom here and land on the screen and let me know when you're here. Keep clicking next, cover across all the instructions and land on this page and let me know when you're here. Are you there with me? On this page, section A, can you see this on your login? Yeah, okay. So now you click on next. And now I will show you the different types of questions which come in exam. I told you very clearly objective test questions are not same as multiple choice questions. So now you will see the varieties of questions which can come here. So if you see the question here, what is the minimum price per share that the owners should accept for the company to the nearest whole dollars? To the nearest whole dollars. So let's say the answer is 100. And I will discuss this also, rounding off also. I'll ask you a few questions. I'll come to that later. So let's say the answer is $100. And I move next. Indicate by clicking on the relevant boxes in the table below whether each of the following financial instruments are traded on a money market. So let's say commercial paper. I'm randomly selecting, okay? Traded, not traded, traded, not traded. So this type of a question can come. And for you to get 2 marks here, all of these 4 subparts have to be correctly answered. Then only you get 2 marks. Otherwise, if any one is also incorrect now, then you will get 0. So all 4 have to be correct. Then you click next. Here you have to select any one. So this is like an MCQ. You have to select any one. Let's say you select interest rate management. Click next. Now, which 2 of the following are descriptions of basis risk? Here you have to select 2. Please be careful in these types of questions. What happens now when you see MCQ, your mind just registers that, okay, I have to answer 1 and you just select 1 and you move on. Exam will not throw you any error that you have selected only one, although the question asked you for two. So select, be very careful. And one trick which I tell you is that whenever the question is asking you to select multiple options now, the check boxes which you will see is of square in shape. Okay, it's square in shape over here. Whereas I'll just go back to the previous question where it asked about one choice, where one option is to be selected. Now, they will not specify you have to select only one. If they want you to choose multiple options, they will specify that, okay, choose multiple options. So, in which of the following areas of financial management will the impact of working capital management be smallest? You have to select just one because they did not specify two, three, or anything. So you selected one, and you will see that there are round check boxes here. Whereas when you have to select two or more, they normally give this. I've observed that they will give a square checkbox. Okay, so you have to select two options here. Okay, then click on next. Here, nothing is mentioned. You have to select just one. Anyways, it's a round checkbox, so you can select only one. If you try selecting two, it will not let you. It will automatically unselect the earlier ones. If I select this, 30 will go away. So you have to select any one. Here also any one you can select. Simple MCQ. This is also a simple MCQ question. Again, a simple MCQ. A simple MCQ type of a question. Here there's a drop down. Which of the following would you expect to be the responsibility of financial management? Let's say I'm selecting this. I can select only one out of the drop down. It's also like a MCQ only. You have to select one option out of 4. Then you click next. Simple MCQ type of a question. Now again, true, false. All 3 have to be correct for you to get the marks. Then here, see again, 2 of the options. You will see square check boxes. You can select many. You can select all 4. Don't do that. Only 2 are correct. Select only 2. Like in MCQ, what is happening now? When I try to select the second option, it automatically unselects the other one. That doesn't happen here. You have to be careful that you have to select only 2. If you select more also, your answer will get marked incorrectly. So let's have selected these 2. Simple MCQ question. Here you have to type up to 2 decimal places. So if they're specifying up to 2 decimal places, you have to type up to 2 decimal places. Let's say it is 4.56. Okay. And you click next. So that completes section A. That completes the type of questions which can come in section A. I'm just showing you the layout of the paper so that you understand what you're preparing yourself for. Are you with me so far? Any queries? Anyone? No queries? All right, perfect. So now let's cover section B type of question. So what did I tell you here? That there are going to be 3 scenarios and each of these scenarios will carry 5 sub questions. Okay. So this is the first scenario. Herd company. This is all the data that they have given. Now you can highlight something if you want. So let's say the company expects to receive, you want to highlight this amount. So you can click and select yellow or whichever color you want to use. So 1, and then if you want to keep highlighting now onwards, you can just select this and click on highlight. It automatically just highlights. So you have to select color once and then it can just click, you can just click on highlight button and it highlights. Then you have a calculator here. So are you going to use this calculator? This type of a calculator? No, you are not. ACCA allows you to carry calculator, be it remote exam, be it computer, center-based exam, you are allowed to use a calculator. So carry, in fact, purchase a calculator now only so that you can practice on that one type of calculator only and your hands get accustomed to it. And if you are using a calculator already, then continue using that one. Okay. So you are allowed to use calculator in exam. Please carry one. And do not rely on this one. It's a very non-handy calculator. You have to literally just click on each of these buttons. It just wastes time. Okay, do not do it. And it's very, very unuseful, so avoid it. Okay. And any calculations that you have to do, you can make use of the scratch pad. So let's say you have to write down something. Let's say receipt is $10 million. You have calculated it on a calculator and you just want to write down the number somewhere. So you can use the scratch pad in a computer-based exam. You can use scratch pad if you're going for a center exam. You can use the scratch pad, or you can use rough sheet also. In the center, they give rough sheets as many as you want. You can take from the invigilator and you can use rough sheets, do the calculation on the calculator, note down the numbers whichever you want on the rough sheet and solve it. Or if you're comfortable with typing, well and good, you can use the scratch pad also. In remote exam, you will not be allowed to put any papers on your table, so you have to rely on scratch pad only. Am I clear, everyone? So in center based exam, you will have access to rough sheets, but in remote exam, you do not have rough sheets, so you have to use scratch pad. Whereas in center based exam, you may use rough sheet or you may use scratch pad, whichever you find comfortable. Right? So this is something which you should be aware of. Then clicking next. So this is the scenario, and it is going to be used for 5 questions. So next 4 questions also will be based on the same scenario. So you don't have to keep reading it again and again. Don't waste your time. Just read it once and solve all the questions. It's there for you to reference. If you want to reference any number or anything, it keeps getting repeated. It's the same scenario. Again, then I click next. Simple, MCQ type of questions are there. Again, selection. MCQ. And now question number 20 is done. 5 questions. Basically, question number 15. Question number 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 5 questions, 1 scenario. That was herd company. You will see here ring company. Okay, this is the second scenario of the section B question. Now, using the dividend growth model, what is the market value? So you have to type your answer here. They have already given the dollars. You don't have to type the dollar again. You just type, let's say 56. Okay, and you're done. You move to the next one. Okay, so I have to write up to 2 decimal places. So 56.24. Next. Okay. Then what is the market value? Simple MCQ type of a question. Same scenario you will see. Ring company scenario only. It will get repeated for the next 4 questions. That is up to question number 25. Questions keep changing on the right hand side. But up to question number 25, you can see here, we have the ring company scenario. Then moving to the third one. Third scenario, it relates to fence company. Okay. Fence company, and they have asked you some questions here. Again, the same scenario, it will be there for the 5 questions. And that completes, so up to question number 30, 15 questions section A, 15 questions section B. Total 30 questions are done, and that completes section B, and we come to section C question now. Section C, it will have 2 questions, 2 constructed response questions, and each question will carry 20 marks each. Correct? We already know that. Now we click on next. So this is the first scenario. Okay. Section C scenarios, they tend to be long. So be very, very careful. Read it thoroughly and go slow when you're reading the scenario now, be it section B or be it section C. Read the scenario very slowly. Take your time, spend some time in reading it so that you don't miss out on any point. Okay. You can highlight also if you want. So once you have read through it, then you see what the requirement is. And it is saying that it is relating to 3 requirements. So you can see the first requirement here, evaluate whether Nezit company should accept the early settlement discount offered by its supplier, and it is carrying 4 marks. So this question required the use of Excel. So it has given you Excel. And this Excel is relevant only for the subpart. You don't have to use this Excel for writing the practical answers of any other section C answer. They will give you specific answer sheets for each of the question. Okay. So evaluate whether an asset company should accept the early settlement discount offered by its supplier. You do the solution here. Let's say the benefit, you're doing a cost benefit analysis here. So you have written down benefits, savings in interest cost, and then the costs. So discount, let's say the benefit is $100 and discount is 80. So net benefit is, you can double click to open the cell, okay? Net benefit is 100 minus 80. You can change the width of the rows and columns. So like this, if you just double click, just look at this. I double clicked on it and it opened up the cell up to the required length. Okay. And this is something which you can do. Now, always remember, say I told you, you can use the rough sheet, your pen and paper calculator for section A question solving. Ultimately, you have to answer on screen, but you can do the calculations part on a rough page. But for section C, you cannot do that. You have to solve whatever is to be solved. So like this, I linked and solved this. 100 minus 80, I did it here. I didn't do 100 minus 80 on a calculator and hard coded the number here. Do not do that mistake. Links and doing the calculation, whatever is there, it carries marks. So you have to show it to the examiner. If you're just hard coding the numbers from your calculator, you will lose the marks. Okay, Excel is provided to you for that reason only, so that you can do the calculations here. So ACCA is testing how you are using Excel, because see, when you are working, you're going to be working on Excel. Being in finance profile, you cannot escape Excel. I'm sure I've not spent any day in my corporate life so far that I've not used Excel. Every day I'll be doing something or the other on Excel. Okay, so ACC wants to prepare you for that, and of course with the classes you will learn it fully in the classes only. So just keep that in mind, that I have to learn Excel and I have to implement it in my section C solution, because 40 marks are here. Okay, so next, once I've done this, I click on next. Again, this is also requiring me to do some calculation. So what is the question? Evaluate whether an asset company should adopt an economic order quantity approach to ordering component. Okay, so you can do the solution over here. Then click next. So it said the 3 requirements. So you can see 3 subparts to the question. First one was for 4, second question was for 6 marks, and this one is for 10 marks. Critically discuss. So this is a discussion question. So you can see they have given you a word processor file over here. So critically discuss how an asset company could improve the management of its trade receivables. So you have to do a discussion around this. And then you click next. This question, impact company. Calculate the NPV of the investment project. It is carrying 12 marks. And I'm telling you, NPV is like the favorite topics in exam. Even in December 24 mock exam, there was a full-fledged question on NPV. You learn about it. I'm just telling you, since it came, that NPV as a topic is very important. So you do the calculations here. And this scenario, you can see the length of the data. So much data. You have to learn to manage this. See, as you grow up, let's say when you reach the strategic professional level, this data only increases in length. The exhibits which they give, that's very lengthy. So ACC is preparing you, because in real life also, you get so much data at work. You have to learn to manage that. So it has got 2 requirements, and it's all mixed up. Somewhere in table, somewhere in paragraph, some information will be hidden. So you have to read very thoroughly and use it to solve this question. And later, when you move to the next part, that's the last question. You can see over here, total 35 questions were there. Discuss how the capital asset pricing model. So again, this is a discuss question. You're discussing how the capital asset pricing model can assist a back company in making a better investment decision with respect to its new product launch. So that was for 12 marks. This is for 8 marks, 12 plus 8, 20 marks. That completes the second scenario. Please tell me, are you able to understand the type of questions you're going to get? It's going to be a mix of theory and practical. You will see that although FM as such is a practical paper, but questions can be theory also. But the good thing is, it's not defined type of questions that you have to memorize something and repeat it here. They are not testing your memory power skills. They want to, if you read the questions, the theory questions also now, you will realize that it's very much practical oriented. Discuss how the CAPM model can assist each company. It's not asking about CAPM model in general, but how this model can assist each company in making better investment decision with respect to its new product launch. It's very much specific to the scenario. You will have to relate to the scenario and develop your answer. That is the type of questions which come. Please let me if you're able to follow. Anyone having any queries so far? All clear? Okay. Now I'll tell you a few things over and above this. Then you will see a help or formula sheet over here. If you just click on that, instructions you don't need. Anyways, I've covered it with you here. Formula sheet. This is the formula which they will provide to you in exam. Okay. Lot of things. You know, that question, one of the question was there. Now, let me just take you back. You can use the navigator button also to go to any specific question. Let's say I want to go to question number 32. See, evaluate whether an asset company should adopt an EOQ approach to ordering component. So you have to do calculation on EOQ. Now, if you see the formula sheet, they have given you the formula of economic order quantity. You can resize this so that, you know, it just is here. And you can look at it here on the left-hand side and you can do the solution here. So whatever formula help you need, let's say EOQ is you have computed what C is, what D is. Okay. All of that, once you have done it, you're using the function to solve it. Square root of 2 into whatever the number is. Let's say you have computed C cost of ordering as 450, D as 25,000, which is your annual demand, and holding cost, which is CH, is let's say point, or let's 40 rupees. So what you're going to do is square root of, you can look at the formula, 2 into this into this by this. So you get that the EOQ is 750. So that's the benefit of having such a practical institute. They're giving you the formula because in real life also it's not like you memorize the formula. If you need something, you can Google it anytime. So they give you the help of the formula sheet. No, the same formula sheet will be given to you in all the exams. If I open up December 24 mock also, the same formula sheet will be there. They do not change it. It's just that the question had come on EOQ, so I was able to show you that, okay, EOQ is asked. EOQ formula is available on the formula sheet. It's not like they will change it. The same sheet will be there. Okay. So you can see EOQ. I'll show you a few more things over here. In fact, what you should do is take a printout of this. Okay. Click this print button and save it on your laptop. You can save it as FM formula sheet. You know, Miller or model. You're going to learn all of this. Miller or model, CAPM, then asset beta formula, growth model, So just look at the type of formula. You don't have to memorize that at all. It will be given to you. WACC. But I'll tell you something. The way it is given now, I'll give you some very simple way of writing down this formula. You will not even need to look at the formula sheet. That I can assure you. Like even this formula, we will learn in a very simple way. You will not feel the need that okay, I have to open the formula sheet and then only I'll be able to solve. Most of these things, even this WACC thing, you won't need the formula sheet for sure. We'll do that whenever the content comes. We'll discuss that. And purchasing power parity, interest rate parity, all of this, I'll be sharing you tricks, and you don't need the formula sheet. And then there is a present value table over here. You might have heard it somewhere when you were doing your graduation or something. You might not have heard it. That's okay. I'll tell you how to use it. It's given to you, but just to tell you that it is given to you in the formula sheet. Okay, as a present value table over here. And one more table is annuity table. I will tell you its use case later, but it's there. And it's there for different rates, like from 1% to 20% here. And similarly, 1% to 20% over here. You will get the present value table and the annuity table both. Okay. This is the formula sheet. Take it out as a PDF file and save it. Yes, we will be using it for NPV computations. I'll tell you later when the chapter comes. How to use it, that I will teach you later. Okay, so this is one thing. Now I will come to discussion of the different types of elements which you can see on your answer sheet over here. I'll go through them one by one. So first, you can see over here is a reset button. So if I click this now, if I click this, it's asking me, are you sure you want to reset? Resetting will remove any response you have made on this item and reset back to an unanswered state. So if I click yes, everything vanishes. I don't think you would need it in exam that you want to delete everything that you've written. So be very careful around this button. Do not press it. And what if I press it accidentally? Just press Ctrl Z on your laptop. It's not working today. It doesn't also. Sometimes it doesn't work. So be very, very careful around this button. It is not able to, no, you're not able to get it back. So it's gone. Whatever I wrote, it's gone. You can't get it back. So be very careful. Do not press this button. It will just erase everything and you don't get it back. Okay. Then if you want to, I'm writing random things over here. You want to cut something. So either you can use these shortcut buttons or you can use keyboard shortcuts. Okay. Okay, let me see a few doubts which have come. Yeah, Control Z is not working in Excel, but it works in the this word processor. I'll show it to you there. Yeah. Will they ask discounting factor only up to the year given in the formula table, like the factor only till 5 years, or they may expect us? No, no, no. You will not be expected to do any calculation if the question is coming in section A or B. Very clearly, I'll teach you how to do computation in Excel. That can come in section C, but not in section A and B. They will give you only those number of years and those rates which are there in the formula, in that annuity table and the present value table. Okay. All right. So you can do Control X here. You can cut this. You can paste it here. You can copy it and paste it here. So you can use your basic keyboard shortcuts. Please do not fall for this. It just takes up a lot of time to hover over them and then press it individually. Use your basic keyboard shortcuts. They will work. Okay. Control X for cut. Control C for copy. Control V for paste. Okay. So that's what here we have. And then we have undo redo button. So if I want to undo something, so let's say I press Control Z. So whatever I've pasted here, it went. If I want to redo something, I do Control Y. Okay. So we are able to see this. Then next is these buttons are there. Then you have the font size. You have the bold button. You can do it from here or you can do it from here, like the keyboard shortcut, you can use Control B. Then you can do Control I. You can make it italics. I'll type a longer word so that you can see it properly. Uh, so you can do it in italics. You can underline. Okay. So you can do these from the keyboard also, like Control U, Control I. If you want to remove it, add it, whatever you want to do, you can do it from your keyboard also. It works. Okay. Then if you want to color some text, let's say you want to do this, you can do color it. Then you want to put some background color, you can do that also. Let's say you want to highlight your main answer in some different color. So you can do this. Then there is option of left alignment, center alignment, right alignment. You can use this as per need. But mostly it's okay to keep it left alignment, but this option is there for you, that I can tell. Then you are writing down some numbers. Let's say your numbers are 56 and then one number is 78,000. So you want to put these commas over here. So how do you do that? Go to this and the second last option, 78,000. Okay, 56,000 will not have commas, so this is okay. So 56 and then 78,000 and okay, so that's the use of this. If you want to place commas, if you want to put decimals also. Okay, let's say I want to put decimals here. So it can put decimals like this. Decimals and comma also you can do. Now if I want to increase the length, I just double click it. It will automatically adjust. So 78,000. So this is one thing. Then percentage buttons are also there. So let's say 0.5. I want to put it as a percentage. I click on this percentage button and I convert it into a percentage. So 50%. Okay. This button is of no use. That means if you want to add a currency sign to it, rather use the laptop button. It's shift dollar. You might use different other currencies. So it's here, okay? You want to insert this, insert it here. This is also tricky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So dollar sign you can insert from here. And then if different currencies are to be used, then you can go here and you can select the currency from here. Okay, that was not working. It sometimes happens, so I'm just telling you other ways to do it. So you have different currencies here, pound, euro, then this P is there, and then yen. So you can click on whatever. So let's say this I have to convert into yen. So I'll go to this custom and let's say I want to convert it into euros. So apply. It gets converted into yen or whatever you want to convert it. You can do it here. Okay. So this feature is available. Then fractions won't be much of a use. You can rather just write it like this, 3 by 4. Okay, let's say. So anyways, you can make use of fractions like this. Please tell me if you're able to follow me so far. Anyone having any queries? Yeah. All right. One more aspect which you should be aware of is this format function. So if you click on this and format cells, if you click on this format cells, then and if you go to this one, alignment. Rest all functions you can see on the top screen only. And I've told you about the currency thing. Alignment also, left alignment, center alignment, you could see there. One thing extra which is here is wrap text. If you click this, okay. Now if I type something very long, so let's say ACCA is very interesting course. So I'm sure you're understanding what it is doing. It is wrapping it up within the cell. Otherwise, if I write the same statement here, ACCA is a very interesting course. It goes in a straight line. If you want to wrap it something in one cell, you can use this. If you want to resize also, you can do this and then double click here. It automatically adjusts. So I'm telling you how you can just over around these different things. In fact, after the class, you should log into your practice platform and see what different aspects are here. So this is something you can use. And one more thing, which is there in the format cells tab, here you can add borders. So let's say I want to add a border around this particular cell. I click on apply. See, it's got added inside a bordered table, but not really useful. I'll tell you why, because anyways you have the grid lines here, so no need to make borders for the table specially. Anyways, it will be inside a grid, so anyone will be able to follow that. So that is about the different features of this particular Excel version of the ACCA platform. Now, please let me know if it's clear. Anyone having any queries? So this is how your exam platform is going to look like. So you have to be confident in each of these elements. You should actually practice also once in a while on this so that your hands become accustomed to the different tools which are there, that shortcuts which will work, not work. So you will become comfortable with this. Now, similarly, I'll show you the Word file also. What are the features that we have on the Word file? Just 1 second. So uh, now let's move to the Word file. So similar type of buttons you will see here also. Let me write down a statement. Or let me show you something else. So it allows me to copy paste. Okay. So let's see. I want to copy this statement here. And I want to make it a heading. So let's say discussion on how Nezit company could improve the management of its trade receivables. I want to make it as a heading. I press enter. I do control B. And then I write down whatever I want to write down. It is going to be very helpful. So whatever I want to write down, I write it down. Okay. Now, uh, let's do a few trial and error over here. So this is again a reset button. It will make everything blank if you do that. Here, however, the control Z function works. So here you can get the data back, but not in Excel. So be very careful of this button. Try to avoid it. Then cut, copy, paste buttons are there. So you have the cut button, then Control Z, then copy and then paste. Then you can undo something. So let's say I added P over here. I want to undo it. I do Control Z. The P goes away. I want to redo it. I press Control Y. It comes back again. So the basic Excel shortcuts, the basic keyboard shortcuts, they are working here also. Then there is this find and replace thing which you can use. I'll tell you how. So let's say when I was solving, I did not want to spend my time so much on typing it fully, okay, like Nezut company or something. So what I've done is I just typed N company and proceeded with it. Okay. So N company, what I'll do is I want to replace it. Throughout my answer, I've used N company and I want to replace it in one go. So what I will do, Control C, and then go to this button, or you can press Control F also. I'll just show you how. So if you selected this and I press Control F on the keyboard, this particular tab only will open up. Okay, now I want to replace it with Nazit company. Wherever we have written N company in our answer, it will find it and replace. Okay, find. So there's nothing, it got replaced automatically. So yes, it's done. So you can use this. It's a time-saving technique. If you don't want to write down full names, because questions are going to give you long, lengthy names. So you don't want to take the time to write it down fully. So what you can do, just write it down in short once, and then later, once you're done, just select the entire answer and you can replace it. Just a suggestion, if anyways the name is small, like Nazit company is a small name only. If the name is small, then you can write it. Or if you have made a typing error across the entire answer for anything, you can just use this and replace all the the inaccuracies. So this replace button is there. Then bold, then italics. So let's say you want to make this bold. Again, same work shortcuts will work here also. Control B, Control I. You want to make it um, italics. You want to make it underline. You can do that. Okay. Similarly, if you want to remove it, Control U I B, it gets removed. Then strike through button is there, but not very useful. I don't see the purpose of it. Anyways, if you want to delete something, you will delete it now. It's an computer, so you can just delete it rather than striking it off. It could have been used in a pen and paper exam, but not here. So if I just select it and remove it, it's gone. You don't need the strike through button as such. I'll just do it. Keep it back. Now there is this superscript and subscript button. So you're going to be learning, like in a lot of formula, maybe you have to do, let's say 5 raised to the power of 3, or any word that you have to write where you have to put something in the superscript. So let's say I do 5 raised to the power of 3. Now I can write it one way is I can write it like this. This top arrow button is there on your keyboard. Use Shift 6 and you will be able to place it. Now, instead of this, I want to show it properly like we do it. So I write 5, 3, and then I select 3 and then take it to the superscript form. So that is something you can do. But again, remember your exam is timed. So you have to wrap up things within time. So wherever possible, try to save time. If you can write 5 raised to the power 3 in this format, why bother making all the subscript, superscript? You can go like that. Similarly, let's say you have to write cost of equity, a concept which we learn. So let's say you have to write cost of equity, and normally E is written as a subscript. So one thing is you can do it like this, KE, make it a subscript. Another is you just don't do anything. You write KE normally and it's okay. Let me tell you, you do not have to do it. Even if you write it like this, examiner will give you marks. So he'll not deduct marks for not making it subscript. Function is available, but you can write cost of equity in this format also. Okay. Next thing, aspect which you should notice from here is this table function. You can insert table. Okay, let's say you have to write about the advantages and disadvantages of something. So you can make advantages here, advantages. And if you press the tab button, it takes you to the next cell. I'm just telling you some keyboard shortcuts here. So I press tab, I'm automatically moved to the next cell. I want to write down disadvantages here. I do that. Okay. Now I again want to go back to the previous cell. So what I will press on the keyboard, Shift Tab. See, it again brought me back here. So advantages, disadvantages. Now I want to write down. I again pressed tab and tab twice. I landed here. It is very useful. Again, I press tab. It is not useful. I'm writing random things. Don't think it's anything of sense, but it's very useful, not useful. Whatever I want to write, I can write it down in this tabular format if I want to cover it neatly like this. So I can make it bold. Control B. Okay. So this is the use of the table function. Then you have the left alignment option here. So it's already left. Then you can make it center alignment also, right alignment also, justified alignment also. So this is there. Then you can make it a bulleted list. So let's say you want to make it a bulleted list. So you can do that. You want to add another, which is also something. You want to add something. So you can make it like a bulleted list. If not that, you can make it a numbered list also. Okay. And then let's say you want to change the indent of a point. Let's say you want to take it in a little further here. So you can press this indent. Maybe you want to change the indent of this one also. So this is available. You want to take it one step back, press the decrease indent button. So these are the different functions which are available to you on the word processor. Now, please tell me if it's clear. Any button that you're not understanding, this is of no use. It's for clearing formatting. So if I just select it and click on this, the bold will go. Anyways, I can just press Control B to remove the formatting. So why bother using that? It's of no use. This also is of no use. Let it be paragraph only. I think rest print button is of no use again. So this is how your answers are like. Answer scripts, this is what it's going to be like, and you have to use these buttons or the keyboard shortcuts which I have told you. Please tell me if you are clear. And also, like, one more shortcut is, let's say I want to select this word together in just single click. So on my keyboard, what I do is, one thing I can do is I can press shift and right arrow one by one until it brings me back to the end. Or I can do Control Shift right button and it selects the entire word in single go. And again, Control Shift here multiple times, I can go to the end. Or what I can do is Control Shift down arrow, it selects the entire statement. Some keyboard shortcuts saves you time when you have to perform some function. Let's say you want to make it bold, unbold together. So you can just press Control Shift down, entire statement will get selected. I can underline it also. Okay, so that's why I've been telling, make yourself comfortable with Excel, your and keyboard, because ultimately 40 marks is there in section C. You have to properly type and everything. So become used to it. Are we clear everything? Anyone having any queries? No queries. All right. So on that note, we will take a 10-15 minute break, or let's fix the time. We'll catch up at 7:15. Okay. Let's take a break, and by the time we are back, we will again continue with our discussion. Okay, we'll catch up at 7:15. See you after the break. Hello everyone, welcome back from the break. Let's continue our discussion. So we discussed the different aspects of the answer script. Now let's see what we have to do. We will be submitting the paper now. Because ACCA not only gives you questions, it will also give you the suggested answers to it. So I click on next, and it's a complete summary of which questions I've attempted, which I've not. And then end exam. Yes, yes, I want to end it. And then I click on exit. Then I go to mark section over here. So we were at home. We go to mark section. Okay, and then you will see a tab open over here as FM passed and practice exams. So if you click on this one, FM practice exam 1, which I completed on 7th December, I click on self mark. Now you will see whatever answers I put, you can see that this one is wrong, and it's giving me the correct answer over here on the left hand side. If I want to see what question it was, I can see that also here. It's visible. Then similarly, answers will be available for all the questions. See, these were the options. Okay, this 3 I selected correct. These 3 I selected correctly, but this one I did not, so I'm getting 0 out of 2. Okay. So in this way, whatever explanation, whatever is the right answer, it will be specified. Now I keep clicking on next. I will similarly show you the answers which are present for section C questions also, similarly like this you can see for section B. So this happened to be correct, all the 3 options which I selected, and it's given me 2 marks over here. Then now we come to section C question. So this was the question. This was the subpart, evaluate whether an asset company should accept. Now if I want to see the sample answer, this is what I had written randomly. This doesn't get marked on the platform. You will have to see your answer over here. Click here to see the sample answer, and you can see that. If I want to see the full answer, I click on this button, presentation mode, and you can download this. How do I download it? I press Control P. It will open up the dialog box to save the PDF file. So necessary calculations and all, everything is given to you over here, and how marks will be given to you, it's specified. Similarly, question number 32. If I click here to see the sample answer, I can see the sample answer for question number 32 over here. Then next question, question number 33, the theory question. I click here to see the sample answer. Whatever I wrote is showing over here. And what the answer should be, it's given on the left hand side. I know it's looking too small, but best option would be to click on this button, presentation mode, and Control P. I can do that. Okay. So you can save this file as a PDF file. Okay. So I hope you understood that you can see your answers here in the mark section. You click on self mark and then you get to do it at a question level. You can see the model answer. Okay. So that was about the ACCA practice platform, and questions and answers are there for past papers, for different practice exams, and for the mock exam. So you'll get the question as well as answers on the practice platform. Okay. Moving on. Next thing which we have here is ACCA's examiner's report. All right. So ACCA examiner report, let me show you where you can find it. So what you have to do is go to accaglobal.com. Just type this out, accaglobal.com, and press enter. Press enter. And then you go over here, students. Students. And then click on study support resources. Click on study support resources. Then again, ACCA qualification, FM. And now if you scroll down, you will see technical articles here and examiner's report over here. So let me talk about each one of them. So I click on examiner's report first. So this is an examiner's report on the March-June 2024 paper. So examiner's report is basically examiner's point of view on how the students fared in the exam. So you can see its past paper on the CBE practice platform, and you can see the answers. The model answers are there. But what does the examiner think about the answers in the which the students gave? That is covered in the examiner's report. So let me show you. So section B they have covered here. So they're talking about, now question 1 was this. What is the correct answer? They've given you the question and the answer. And then for section B, section C, this was the requirement. So they're telling you what you should keep in mind before tackling this part. It needs to be carefully read, that I've told you, be very, very slow when you're reading. Then use the question verbs. I'll come back to this. I have a slide on it, on what are the verbs. Basically, if it's asking you to comment, if it's asking you to recommend, like I showed you and highlighted, I discusses. The question was asking you to discuss, so you have to discuss. If it's asking you to calculate, you have to calculate. I'll come to this part again. I have a slide. And this type of an explanation they will give as to where the students did well or where they did not do well, which calculation they mixed up. Okay. So this is the report. See, some candidates did not realize that the EPS figure was required in the calculation of the market value of equity and incorrectly assumed that the market price per share would be unchanged. So that is the remarks. Normally students made this mistake. When you read through these papers, you will understand that, okay, students are making this mistake. I need to avoid it. Anyways, when we are studying, I'll also keep telling you that, okay, this is a common student mistake. You can keep noting them down also. But if you want to go specific to the question, you can read through these reports and understand better, like what are the common mistakes done in that particular paper. So that is the examiner's report. I would recommend reading it, one or two reports whenever you get some free time, just read through it. And the last one, last resource which you need to use to pass the exam is the technical articles, and I'll explain you what that is. See, all the topics which are relevant for the syllabus, it will get covered in the class. No doubt about it. But let's say you want to read further, you want to cover it further. So there are some topic specific articles given over here. Okay, for example, you want to learn more about working capital management. So you click on this, and a detailed article purely on working capital management opens up over here. You can see importance of working capital management, objectives of working capital management, what is liquidity, what is profitability, liquid liquidity ratios. Okay, you're going to learn all of this. But if you want to read more about it in detail, anytime, let's say you're traveling on a metro or you have some free time, you're having lunch alone, you can open up this article, read about it. And but do it once that topic is complete in the class, then only you will be able to understand it better. So once something has been done, and then there are some questions also which they have given to help you understand the topic. So very lengthy articles on each topic. So if something you want to read further or you're not very clear about it, of course you can reach out to me and you can read articles also on it. It will be really helpful. But again, this is recommendatory. If you're clear with the concepts in class, good enough. But if you're getting time, let's say you are spending some good quality time just browsing through articles, this could be some articles which you could go through. Okay, and that completes the resources which you need to pass the exam. Go through it. Now, one thing which I want to cover with you. One minute, huh? I'll open up the file. We'll be covering the VGLD book, Daksh, no problem. If you want to watch the recorded lecture, it will be available. Okay. Now, I have a few questions for you. You would have seen that when we were going through the questions in section A and section B, there was mention of you rounded off to the nearest dollar or you rounded off to this, to that. So I've tried to put down a few different varieties which can come, and let's see if you're able to crack it properly or not. Okay. So okay, let's begin. Let's solve each one of them one by one and you tell me the answer. This is the result that you have got. Okay, while you were doing the calculation on the calculator, you got this number 432.11. And the question is asking you to round to the nearest dollar. Tell me, what would you put in your answer script? Round to the nearest dollar. Absolutely right. You're going to put 432. It's going to sound very basic right now, but I'm telling you, students make mistakes here. So, I'm covering all of this. Now, round to one decimal place. Round to one decimal place. What will be the answer here? To one decimal place. See, Shivani is also mentioning that she also got confused in the exam. It happens with the students. Okay? See here. You have to round to one decimal place. So, what you need to keep in mind, please look at me very, very carefully here. You have to round up to this place. Okay, 432.4, and after that, you have to round off. What you need to know is you are going to look at the number immediately after that place. Okay, so after 4, what do you have? 5. If it's a 5 and a above number, you will round up. Okay, so this one will be 432.5. 432.5 because I have to write in one decimal place. So 432.45, I have to write up to 4 and I will just look at the number immediately after 4. If it is higher than 5, that is 5 or above, I'll do 432.5. Okay, and I'm telling you, students can lose. I mean, you can also lose marks. Just 2 marks are gone if you round it off incorrectly. So be very, very careful over here. Next one. Round it to the nearest $100. Be careful. Round it to the nearest $100. It will be 4,500. And let me tell you why and how. It's gonna look like a class 1 or 2 discussion, but don't worry. Let's see. What you have to do is this is the ones place, tens place, and hundreds place. So I have to round up to this point. I have to round up to the 100th place. Okay. What is the number immediately after this? 3. It is less than 5. So it gets rounded down. I will be writing it as 4,500. I have to write in hundreds of dollar. Rounded to the nearest $100. So I will look at what is the number at the 100th place and what is the number immediately after that. So here we have 3. Since it is less than 5, I will write it as 4,500. Understood? Shivani And Sujata, you got it. You did not get it right. Are you able to understand me? Sujata, your answer would have been correct if the rounding off had to be done up to 10th place. Here I'm doing the rounding off up to 100th place. That is why the answer would be 4,500. Okay? All right. Next is round to the nearest $1,000. What would be the answer? Go slow, no problem. Tell me. So all of you are telling me 57,000. Okay. So how do I decide? What is the number? I have to round up. This is the number at the 1,000th place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So this is the number at the 1,000th place. What is the number immediately after this? 7. Since it is 5 and above, it gets rounded up. Absolutely right. This will be 57,000. Okay. Then round it to the nearest $1,000,000 and you have to write in millions. Sometimes the word M or million will be mentioned outside the box. So what will you put inside the box? Tell me. You have to round it to the nearest $1,000,000 and you have to write, and M is written outside the box. What will you write inside the box? Try it out, everyone. I'm getting varieties of answer this time. See, I highlighted this in bold. You have to write in millions. So first of all, let's read what this number is. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000. And then you get into millions. So this comma is as per Indian nomenclature. Otherwise, you will have to read it as 32.765 million. Okay, it's 32.765 million. But now the question is asking me to round it to the nearest $1,000,000 and write it in M terms. So I have to, this is the millionth place. Okay, 32 millions are there because 6 digits are after this. But I don't have to look at all of these 6 digits. I just need to look at this number. It's 7. It is 5 and above. So it will get rounded up. But in the answer box, I will put just 33. I will put just 33. Why? Because I have to write in M terms 33 million. That is what it will represent. Is everyone clear? Please confirm. This costs you marks unnecessarily. Although you have calculated everything correctly, because section A and B will get evaluated by a computer, you could lose marks here. Okay, so what you have to put in the answer box? 33. Then, next is rounded up to the nearest dollar. Rounded up to the nearest dollar. You have to round up, okay? Tell me. All of you, please try. Absolutely right. You have to round up. So you don't have to apply your minds as to whether it is 5 and above or not. You're not doing the nearing rounding off. You are doing the upper rounding off. So it will be 433. Correct. Then round down to the nearest dollar. Round down to the nearest dollar. Be careful. Be careful. Round down to the nearest dollar. It will not be 431. It will be 432 because the nearest rounded down dollar is 432. Okay. So it will be 432. You don't have to go one step below because already it is 432.11. You're just going to the lowest dollar, and that complete dollar will be 432. Then rounded up to one decimal place. Be careful. Rounded up to one decimal place. What will you do? Absolutely right. Very well done. It will be 432.5. It will be 432.5. And similarly, round it down to one decimal place. Round it down to one decimal place. Shivani, you tell me. Round it down to one decimal place. Difference between second and 7. I'll come back to your question. Very good. This will be 432.4. Varsha is asking difference between second and 8. Rounded to one decimal place and rounded up to one decimal place. So what's the difference between the two? When it is rounded to the nearest, rounded to or rounded to the nearest one decimal place, it's the same thing. When you have to round to or rounded to the nearest, you look at the number right after the point where you have to do the right rounding off. Okay, if it is 5 and above, then we do upper rounding off, or else we do the lower rounding off. Correct? So here it is 432.45. So we are doing upper rounding off. We are going to consider it as 432.5. If this was 432.42, we would have done what? Lower rounding off. We would have said 432.4. Here, I will not even consider if it is 5 and above. If it is 432.45, I will say 432.5. If it is 432.42, still I will say 432.5. I always do upper rounding off if it is asking me to do round up. Understood, Varsha? Okay. Next, round it up to the nearest $1,000. How could it be 432.5? Because I'm rounding up and I have to do it up to one decimal place. If I have to round up, what is the next decimal after this? It will be 5. So that's why I have taken it as 432.5. If it is rounding up and it is 432.42, still the next upper decimal place will be 432.5, na Shivani? Let me write it down for everyone. If this is 432.42, what did I tell you? If it is asking me to round down, I will not even consider what is the number after the respective place. Even if it's 2, 1, 5, 7, 8, I will always do upper rounding off because it is asking me to do rounding up. Still confused? Okay, listen to me carefully. I'm repeating this one. Everyone, please hold your messages for now. I'm just repeating the steps. Now, round up. It's asking me to round up. Normally in questions, you will see round to the nearest. But no one is stopping ACCA to do round up also. Okay? Whatever is the value after this place, I have to do up to one decimal place now. So therefore, up to this, whatever is the value after this, I will not consider whether it is 5 or above or 1, 2, 3. Nothing. I'll always do the next upper rounding off. Therefore, it becomes 432.5. Okay. All right. Here, I have to round up to the nearest $1,000. So I have to round up to this point. And I'll not even think whether it is 7, it is 2, or I'll just change it also. Even if it is 56 to 42, still it will be 57,000. Why? Because I do not care what is the number. If it is asking me to round up, I will always round up. Okay? Now, this one. Round it down to the nearest $1,000. What will I put here? I have to round down. It will be absolutely right. 56,000. I will always round down. Whatever is the number, I'll just keep it up to that. So this becomes 56,000. Then round it up to the nearest $100. Round it up. I'll not see. Shivani, you answer this one. What will I will not even see this. I'm just going to look at the 100th place. What is the number? 45. I will do 4,600. Correct? And here I have to round down. What is the complete $100 before this? It will be 45. Okay. So this is something which you should be aware of. It's very basic thing which we have covered, but very important for you to score marks in section A and B. Yes, everything which you're going to discuss in the class, you will get it. All the PDF, PPTs, whatever we cover, you will get it. Don't worry. Okay. So this thing now, you can do using Excel formula also. I'll show you how. I'll show you how. See, sometimes now, in the panic of exam, you might get confused. You might get confused. So let me show you. If you want to verify your answer, let's say you go to section C question, any question which has got, no, I've not started any chapter. I'm just doing an orientation session. What all things which you need to know from exam point of view. I've not done any chapter. Okay, Daksh? So let's say you want to verify your answer using the Excel, which is a part of your section C answers. Okay. How do I verify? So there are functions like round. You will see there are functions round, round down, round up. M round you don't need. All of these three functions are available in Excel. So I click on round. Okay. I have to round this number to the nearest dollar. So that is, I don't want any decimal place. I don't want any decimal place, so I put 0. Round the number and select the number of places you want. So round 0. Round to 1 decimal place. Can you tell me what formula I should put? Round, select the number. What should I put after comma? I have to round up to 1 decimal place. I'm going to put 1. Absolutely right. So 432.5. I can verify my answer using Excel. I'm just showing you how. I have to round to the nearest $100. Now this is tricky. Think and answer. I have to round to the nearest $100. What should I put after the comma? Very good. Mohit got it. I'm going to do -2. I'm going to do, do -2, ma'am. Why? As long as you're here after the decimal point, you are doing positive. If you want to go towards the left, how does the number line look? All the numbers towards the right are positive, no? If you're doing rounding off to the left, you have to put a negative sign. Okay? So I'm going to do -2. I get 4,500. Okay? So how does a number line look like? Let's come here. Very basic thing. I'll just tell you. So let's say you have a number line like this. This is so let's say this is the 0th point. Okay. How does the number of line look like? 1, 2, 3, 4. When you go to the left, what do you do? -1, -2, -3. Similarly, you can just go to infinity towards the left as well as the right. Yes, negative side on the left. Now, the convention which Excel follows, which Excel understands, because please understand, Excel is a computer software, it's not a human. So there are conventions built into the formula. So the convention which is built into this rounding of formula is this 0 is the end point of a number. That is this, for this one, it will be the end point is here. That is before decimal. Okay. So if you want to round off towards the right, that is on the decimal side, you put the normal number of digits that you want to round off to. If you want to go towards the left of this end point, you have to do minus. That's the simple logic which this formula is following. Understood now, Daksh? So I have to go. Don't stress over the formula so much. I'm just telling you ways to verify. If you're able to solve it logically, well and good. But here, I have to round up. I have to round to the nearest $100. That is this place. That is, I have to go back how many places? I have to go back 2 places. So that is why I have done 4532, comma, minus 2. Clear now? Yeah? Okay. Next, let's try this one on the formula. Tell me, round. I select the number. What will I put after the comma? Daksh? Very good. This time you're right. It will be minus 3 because I have to round up to 1000. Okay. Very good. Now, round it to the nearest $1,000,000. So one thing is I have to do minus 6. That's one thing because million has got 6 places. So I go minus 6. But then here I have to write in millions because M is mentioned out. So this was a peculiar case. So what will I do? I will divide it by 10 to the power of 6. So that gives me 33. Because M was written outside the box, that is why I have to write this divided by 10 to the power 6. Because I have to write in millions. I don't have to write zeros in the answer box. So that is why I've done divided by 10 to the power 6. Why? Because 1 million has got 6 zeros. Okay. Now round it up to the nearest dollar. Very simple. Now I'll just change the formula to round up. So there is a round up formula in Excel. Round up to the nearest dollar. That is no decimal place. I'll put 0. Round up and 0. No. No decimal place. No. Nearest dollar means no decimal place. So that's why it will be 0 here, Shivani. Okay. Then round down to the nearest dollar. Similarly, I have a round down function also. Round down, comma, 0. 432. Okay. Then round up to the 1 decimal place. What will I do? Round up to 1 decimal place. Then round down. Now it should be seeming so easy now. So round down to 1 decimal place. Round up to the nearest $1,000. So round up to the nearest $1,000. That is comma minus 3. Then round down, comma minus 3. Round up to the nearest $100. So round up, comma minus 2. Round down, comma minus 2. So we've learned Excel formula also today, how to put it in Excel. I hope it is clear now. Very basic thing, but since it costs marks, we had to discuss this in detail. Yes? All right. Okay, now on that note, I will come back to the PPT that we were discussing. So we have covered this, the top resources. Next is what are the skills that you need to pass this exam? Very, very important. We have covered most of it anyways, but let's do it. So you have to practice the questions on Excel or Word as may be applicable. 1 idea per mark, quality over quantity. It's very important to know this. Please remember that you do not have to write lengthy answers to score marks, not in ACCA. You should see how many marks are there for a particular subpart of a question. Let's say if it is carrying 5 marks, your endeavor should be to write 5 paragraphs. 5 paragraphs? Don't worry, I'm not talking about 5 detailed paragraphs. Each paragraph will have about 1 to 2 sentences. Small, crisp paragraphs. And the idea should be that each paragraph is having one unique idea which you are elaborating. So 1 idea per mark. What am I saying? Is that you write 1 to 2 sentences. Ma'am, what will be those sentences? So in the first sentence, you explain what is the fact or what is the reason, whatever you want to put whatever the question has asked you, write that in one line, and then explain why it is relevant. Fact and why oblique how, whatever you can cover. So that is going to be your standard layout of any theoretical answer. This is going to be very, very helpful for you when you start solving theory questions. You will see most of the answers will be framed in this way. State the fact and why or how of it. Because ACCA examiners are not seeing how much you can type. They are going to see what you are typing. What is the quality of that? So one idea per mark. If the question is for 5 marks, ideally you should try to write 5. If not 5, maybe 4. So 4 to 5 points you can write in small paragraphs, and each paragraph would be about 1 to 2 sentences. Clear? Next is use headings and paragraphs. See, when I was writing that model answer, what did I tell you? That I can copy the content from the question, I can make it a heading. You have to also do that. Use headings. Give headings when you are writing in small paragraphs. If you are able to give maybe 2-liner, 3-liner explanation only, I mean 2-word, 3-word explanation, just put small headings. Why it helps is so that it catches the eyes of the examiner that okay, this student has covered this point in this paragraph. So it becomes catchy. So use headings and paragraphs when you're writing it. Give proper headings, and when you're writing down sub points, give proper subheadings also. Then label and cross-reference workings. So when you will be doing questions that we will learn, let's say you're doing an NPV question. I showed you one of the NPV questions for 12 marks. Now, do you think just one complete answer is of 12 marks? No. For making that NPV format, you will be doing a lot of notes, supporting calculations. So those supporting calculations, and I'll teach you all of these things as we progress, that different notes, like note number 1, sales calculation, note number 2, variable cost, note number 3, depreciation. I'm giving you for example, and each of these notes will be cross-referenced to the main answer. Okay, it's very important because I told you have to make the life of the examiner easy. You have to serve things to him or her in a platter. So you have to label and cross-reference that, okay, calculation for sales is in note 1. Then you put it in the main table also that, okay, sales, note number 1, this is the calculation. And then you link and solve. So this we will learn, but you should know that you have to learn this skill. You need this for getting marks. And especially this is for section C. Then you need to follow the rule of elimination in objective test questions. What it means is, see, when you will be dealing with section A and B questions, there will be a lot of times when question is very confusing. You're not able to crack it in exam. So in that scenario, instead of making a wild guess, what you should do is you should follow the rule of elimination. What it means is that there are 4 options. You go through those 4 options, you read it again and again, and you feel that, okay, option D, under no circumstance, it will be a possible answer. So you exclude it, you eliminate it from your possible answer list. And this will not be an answer for sure. Okay. So you remove D. Similarly, then you read from the remaining 3. Then you feel that, okay, option A will also not be an answer. So you remove that also. Okay. And then you're left with 2 choices, and now you're confused. Okay, so now you can make a wild guess. Okay, like 50-50, because there are 50-50 chances now, right or wrong. That is something you can do. It increases your probability of getting the answer right. Instead of doing a wild guess out of 4, where there's a 25% of getting the answer right, you are now in a 50-50 chance. So follow this rule of elimination, because it is possible. It's okay. It's possible that the question which you've got is very difficult. So you have to follow this rule of elimination in exam. Did you understand what it is? That if you're getting confused, eliminate the wrong answers. You may not be able to get the right answer, but eliminate the wrong answers so that at least your probability of getting the correct answer increases. Okay, and this is something you should follow across any paper, not just specific to FM. You can follow it in FR also, PM also, whichever paper. You should use this rule of elimination in OT. And then whichever formula you can use it in your section C. We will learn some formula and I'll tell you that as the course progresses, you should use the formula wherever possible. Okay. So these are the skills which you need to develop over time as we progress in our curriculum. You will develop it and you will execute an exam. Okay. Now let's move to the next slide, which is your time allocation. Very important. You have a timed exam. You have 3 hours to yourself to read the question, to appear, to solve them, and then maybe if you're not able to solve, you progress ahead, and then you come back to them also. So total time that you have in exam, whatever you do with it, is 3 hours. So to allocate your time, multiply the marks for each question by 1.8 minutes. Ma'am, what is this magic number? I'll tell you what it is. Total marks that you have is how much? 100. Total time that you have is how much? 3 hours. Can I say it is same as 180 minutes? 3 hours into 60 minutes each. 180 minutes. So 180 minutes I have for 100 marks. How many minutes I have per mark? Basic maths 180 by 100, 1.8 minutes. About 2 minutes also you can take. So to allocate your time, multiply the marks for each question by 1.8 minutes. Therefore, each 2 mark objective test questions in section A should take 3.6 minutes. Now section A has 15 questions. So 15 into 3.6 is how much? 54 minutes. Now I will tell you one thing. Don't go by the logic of 3.6 minutes per question. Don't go by that. Go section wise. So section A total has got 54 minutes. So you have to complete those 15 questions in 54 minutes. I'll tell you why. Because it is possible that some of the questions in section A, they are somewhat lengthy. They might take extra time. But again, then there will also be some questions which are not lengthy. That's going to take less time. Okay. So you have to follow the rule of 1.8 minute per mark. You can follow it section wise. Okay, that's what I recommend to my students. Even when we will be conducting tests, what I will do is, if the section is for 10 marks that I've given you 5 questions, for example, I'll give you 10 into 1.8 with 18 minutes to solve it. Now, whether you take 5 minutes in question 1 or you take 1 minute in question 2, that doesn't matter to me. You have to complete the entire section in those 18 minutes. And in exam, since you'll be getting 15 questions, that means 54 minutes. So that logic you have to follow, because it's not going to be straight cut. Every question will be of same length. Some questions will be lengthy, some questions will be short also. So you have to balance it out. Okay, so section A total, it will take about 54 minutes. Okay, similarly, section B, that has also got total 15 questions, 2 marks each. That also will take about 54 minutes. And then comes section C, 2 questions but 40 marks. So 40 into 3.6 is what? 70, 72 minutes. Okay, 40 into, 40 minutes, that means total 72 minutes. So 40 marks into 1.8 I have to do. So that is 72 minutes. So attempt the questions in any order, whether you want to go for section C first, or you want to go for section A first, or you want to go for section B first. Attempt the questions in any order. Within the within the section also, you can follow different order. No one is stopping you. But what I suggest normally is, go for section A first, then section B, and then section C. If you follow that, it's actually better suited to the mind, because section A and B, these are objective test questions. You can get across them quickly. So go with that logic, A, B, and then C. But within the section, you can follow any order. If you want to skip through some and then you want to reappear, you can do that. But again, it costs you some time. So be careful about that. Then approach should be to attempt easier ones first, to make yourself reach a comfortable spot with marks. That's what I'm telling, because if you attempt section A and B first, now you will reach a comfortable spot. That, okay, now I've completed 60 marks. I have to appear for 40 more. Whatever time that you're left with, you complete it in that much time. Okay. So why I am telling you to follow this 54 plus 54 plus 72 minutes logic is because students, they have come back and told me, ma'am, the paper was very, very simple. I knew everything, but I could not manage my time well. I don't want that to happen to you, that you know, and it's another level of guilt you will feel if you go through this. Because you feel that, okay, I worked so hard, I knew everything, but I couldn't do it because I did not manage my time well. So what you will do, you try to complete section A in 54 minutes. If you are able to do it, well and good. If not, take a pause there, complete whichever question is there in your hand, and move to the next one in section B. Okay, try to finish section B in the 54 minutes. It is possible that you complete it in 45 minutes. You got left with some 9 minutes. You can utilize it for section A. Okay, so just move ahead if you're not able to do something in the allotted time. It's not like if you write very well or if you do some section very well, the examiner will give you 35 out of 30. That will never happen. So give each question its due time. Try to attempt all the questions, no matter what. Follow this logic. Move ahead if you're not able to complete a particular section in that allotted time. Come back to it later when you have some time in hand. Please tell me, will you do it? 54, 54, 72 logic, section A, B, C. You have to make yourself accustomed to it over time when we practice the questions also. I will give you some time that, okay, this question seems to be for 3 marks, 5 marks, whatever. Take this much time, solve it and share your answers. So try to inculcate this habit from today itself. Whenever we have our next class and we solve questions, try it from that time itself. And you will gradually, over time, become fast. Is it clear? Please confirm. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move ahead. And that brings us to the last slide of the orientation deck, and that is the question verbs. This particular slide is relevant only for section C. As I was telling you, you must have seen some question verbs. You must have seen some question verbs like discuss, evaluate, advise, and all of that. Okay. So, what you have to do, each of these question verbs, they have to be answered properly. Okay. If the question is asking you to advise, you have to tell someone what you think they should do in a given scenario. That's an advice. Here, if you start doing pros and cons, positive, negative, that's not going to fetch you marks. The question verbs are carefully put words and you have to follow that. If the question is asking for advice, you tell someone what you think they should do in the given scenario. Then analyze. Break an issue into multiple parts and then discuss the current situation. So you analyze, what do you do in analysis? You break down the stuff. You break an issue into multiple parts and then discuss what is happening and why it is happening. So that is what you have to do if the question is asking you to do, analyze. Third is apply. If the question is asking you to apply a particular concept, let's say it is asking you to apply the concept of CAPM, capital asset pricing method, then you have to apply that concept to solve the question. So put a concept into action as per the question's data. Third, assess. Judge the importance of an issue. When you're doing an assessment, you understand what is the importance of it. Then discuss. Argue about the pros and cons of an issue. Okay. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? If the question is asking you to do a discussion, you do it around this, about the pros and cons. Estimates is same as calculates. So calculate an approximate value mentioning assumptions, if any, that you have taken. And then we have evaluate. If the question is asking you to evaluate, then you have to do a balanced discussion on the right and the wrong and why it is right or wrong. So you do a balanced discussion. You're evaluating something. Okay, so you consider the pros. It is quite similar to discussion. Discussion and evaluate are more or less the same. You're doing a balanced discussion. You're considering the advantages, disadvantages, and then bringing forth the argument that you need to carry ahead. Explain. Make a concept clear to a layman. Okay, as if you're explaining something. Let's say you're explaining IRR. That's something you're going to learn, internal rate of return, to a layman. How would you do that? That's something that you have to do if the question is asking you to explain. And lastly, recommend. Recommend is quite similar to advice. So it is same as advice. A course of action is to be recommended. Clear? These are the different, there could be other verbs also. I've just jotted down the commonly observed verbs, but there could be different verbs like compare also. The compare is simple. You have to compare whatever they're asking you to compare. So more or less the confusing ones are these, which I've written down. Please go through it, take 2 minutes, read what I've written and confirm if you're able to understand. Any part that you're not understanding, please ask me. So normally when you have to do a discussion, you can give a one-liner recommendation if possible. If you're able to come to a clear-cut conclusion, then you can. Okay, Mohammed. So if you have done a balanced discussion around the pros and cons, if it is possible to give a clear-cut uh, recommendation or advice, you can give it. But that should not be very long because that's not what they're asking. If they were asking your advice, then properly you will do the discussion on advice. If they're asking you to discuss or evaluate, then you do the discussion on the pros and cons and then give a one-liner closure to it. Okay. All right, and that brings us to the end of the orientation session. I mean, the slides. We'll do some bit of chapter 1. I'll open up the book in the meanwhile. Well, Krishna says, I've got 7 paper exemption in ECC. I have to give the first group of my CA final on May 25 in case, if any case, I cleared that group or score more than 40 in advanced financial management. In that case, can I be eligible just because to focus on only one paper that is PM subject and skip FM batch? Okay, got it. Krishna, I think you should reach out to the counselor for more details on this. It's actually a little discussive, and your counselor, you would have a counselor, right? Or you can ask Sandeep to arrange a call with a counselor. They will guide you better on this one. I got your point. You're thinking that maybe if you're going to get the exemption, then there is no point in going through this batch. But just reach out to counselor. Ask Sandeep to arrange a call with the counselor. They'll help you. Okay. All right. So let us come to the book. So we're going to have total 19 chapters in the syllabus, and we will go one by one, starting with the financial management function. This chapter is a lot theory, and don't get bogged down. It's okay. The initial chapters of most of the subjects, they tend to be theoretical because they are laying down the foundation for the concepts which you're going to learn later. So that is why. Yeah. So the financial management function, nature and purpose. So please understand, now you have to put yourself in the shoes of a financial advisor in a company. Whenever you are studying this paper, keep this in mind that okay, now I am a finance manager of a company. Nature and purpose. Financial management involves crucial decisions in 3 key areas: investing, financing, and dividend policy. I'll break it down. I'll break down each of these decisions for you. Investing decision. Okay. So imagine a company, they have different projects in front of them. Maybe they can set up a tea manufacturing, tea processing plant, or they could manufacture a steel manufacturing plant. Different opportunities a company has. Okay. And each of these projects, they're going to require different amount of investment. Okay. So, investing decision, now, when you are the finance manager of a company, you are going to be involved in which project should you invest in, which my Zoom got disconnected somehow. I hope I'm audible now. Can you please confirm? All right, perfect. So, and my screen is visible. Can you see the book that I'm presenting? Chapter 1. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So I was talking about investment decisions. So I gave you multiple examples that, okay, project one, two, three, these are the different projects which are available in uh, for a company. Now your funds will be limited. Let's say you have 1 crore rupees, and different projects, they are having different requirements of capital. You cannot invest in any and every project which is available. So you will do an analysis. And then finally, let's say on some grounds, which you will learn later, there are proper chapters dedicated to each of these things. And so you decide that, okay, I want to go ahead with the steel manufacturing plant for XYZ reasons. Okay. So this is a part of investment decision. And you as finance managers are going to do that. Okay. That is investment decisions. So Shivani says, which is economical to us, giving higher return while using resources effectively and efficiently. I didn't get your question, sorry. Which is economical to us, giving higher return? So we will be learning the three E's: effectiveness, efficiency, and economical. But that's relevant. Yeah, correct. So we'll be learning these three E's. Whenever you make any investment decision, you think about these aspects, that whether you're using your resources effectively and efficiently or not, while it is the best for the company. Absolutely right. So investing decision is you think on some different grounds, which is the best decision for me to invest in. Then second is financing. Okay, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead with the steel manufacturing plant, and it's gonna require 100 crore rupees. It's going to require 100 crore rupees. You just have 1 crore in your bank account. From where do you get the balance 99? So for balance 99, let's say you have different options available in front of you. You could go for your debt, you can take a loan, or you can use fresh equity also. Retained earnings, let's say you have some 1 crore rupees. So total, you have to bring about 100 crores. And from where you're going to get those 100 crores? Through different means. And why debt, why not equity, or why equity, why not debt? All of those decisions, they come under financing decisions. And you, as finance managers, will be taking that. Okay. So financial management involves crucial decisions in three key areas: investing, financing, and last is dividend policy. And what is dividend policy? So I'll give you some example. Now let's come to Google for that. So I'll give you two examples. So one is Reliance. Reliance. Let's see what is. Okay, I'll ask you a question before I get into this. Taking two names here, Reliance and BPCL. Okay, Bharat Petroleum. Any one of you who follows stock market closely? Any one of you interested in the stock markets? Yes. Now you tell me which company out of the two, Reliance and BPCL, is popular for paying dividends. Which company? Reliance versus BPCL. So Mohit tells me BPCL, okay? Anyone else who tracks markets? So yes, BPCL is very popular for dividends. And I'll show you also. So Reliance Industries, now I'll just go to more about Reliance Industries. Look at this. Dividend yield. It's 0.38%. And what is dividend yield? Look at the formula also which they have used to compute dividend yield. It is the ratio of annual dividend to the current share price that estimates the dividend return of a stock. So if the stock price is about 1300, okay, it is 1300. Do it on your calculator. 1300 into 0.38. 1300 into 0.38 percentage. What does it come to? 5 rupees. Okay, so it pays very low dividend. Hardly anything it pays. So this is 5. Now, I'll take you to another stock. BPCL. 300 rupee stock. More about BPCL. And look at this. Dividend yield 7%. So basically on a 300 rupee stock, what is 7%? 21 rupees. That was a 1300 rupee stock. It was paying dividend of 5 rupees. This is a 300 rupee stock. It's paying a dividend on an average of 7%. That is 21 rupees. So BPCL is very popular for paying dividends. Another company which is quite popular for paying dividends is ITC. Look at this. It has got a dividend yield of 2.91%. ITC also pays dividend, a lot. And then let's take one more example. Idea. Dividend yield is 0. It doesn't pay dividend. It's anyways struggling to keep itself afloat with all the, court battles that it is fighting. No point. No way they would be paying dividends. So they are not paying any dividends. That's why the dividend yield is 0. Okay. So there are some finance managers like you and me who would be sitting inside these companies and they're deciding on what should be the dividend policy of a company. You can visually see it with the different examples we have covered. Okay. So Reliance, very marginal dividend. BPCL, very high dividends. Coal India also. If you just look at Coal India, I'll take you down. Wait, it's not the NSE name, so it's not showing correctly. Okay. Coal India also pays dividend very heavily. See, 6.22%. Cash rich companies, they generate so much cash that they pay out this cash as dividend to the shareholders. Okay. Yeah, Indian Oil also. Let's see that. Let's see that also. These are all cash rich companies. They would be paying heavy dividends. 8.45. Can you imagine? IOCL, it's paying 8.45% dividend. So 142 rupees stock, 8.42% is a good amount that it is paying, right? So I hope you got an idea what this point is talking about, that you as finance managers will be involved in 3 key areas. One is investment, where you want to put your money. Financing is, okay, you want to put your money here. From where do you get the money? So financing that project. And dividend policy is that, okay, this much money I've used up in financing and all. Now I want to pay this much to my shareholders. If only I want to pay. For example, like idea, I do not want to pay anything to the shareholders. That is also a possibility. So not paying dividend is also a decision. Okay. That as a finance manager, you have to take. So interrelationships are as follows. Increased dividends. If you're paying heavy dividends, increased dividends reduce retained cash, necessitating external finance, that is financing decision for capital investments, that is investment decision. So I hope you understand all these 3 decisions, they are interrelated. How much dividend you pay will determine how much external finance you need for doing any investment, that is investment decision. Similarly, higher capital expenditure increases the need for finance, that is financing decision, potentially sourced internally by reducing dividend. So if you have good investment opportunities in front of you, you will try to reduce the dividends. Okay. Instead of paying the money as cash to the shareholders, you're going to use that money for investing in different projects. So the key purposes of financial management, they are as follows. Number 1, capital structure decision. You make a choice between equity and debt capital. Then funding strategy. Determine how funds should be raised. If you want to raise debt, are you going to raise it through bonds or are you going to take a bank loan? Different options are available. Then investment decision. allocate funds to proposed investments. Dividend policy, decide on the amount of dividend that you're going to pay to the shareholders. Then working capital management, determine the optimal level of working capital. Can anyone tell me what is working capital management? What do you understand by working capital management? It's your current assets and current liabilities. So, how you manage your day to day payments and collections. That is about working capital management. So, day to day collections, they come from whom? The debtors. And to whom do you make day to day payments? To your creditors. So, management of current assets and current liabilities is known as working capital management. So, you have to determine what is the level of working capital that you want to maintain and how it will be financed. Because investment in working capital also requires financing. And for that, we have short term sources of finance like overdraft and cash credit facility. Okay. So, working capital management, you determine the optimal level of working capital and its financing that you only as a finance manager would be doing. And I'm telling you, if you I mean, I'm really enthusiastic about financial management, and suddenly you will see I getting excited when I talk about these topics, because you when you are in finance profiles, so currently like I'm in sales finance. Earlier to this I was in business finance. You really do this, you manage it with your sales folks, that you have to get this collection because otherwise my overdraft shoots up. And it really, if you find this exciting, you should really consider maybe working in a finance profile like business finance or maybe FP&A. You'll really enjoy. Okay. And last decision which you have to make is risk management. Develop strategies to manage and mitigate financial risks. So you develop some strategies that, okay, let's say you are taking a loan. So you have to take certain measures that you do not end up, bearing some extra risk because of taking that loan. We'll come to all of that. There are detailed chapters on it. So you have to manage the risk around taking loans also. So there's a chapter called interest rate risk management, which we will learn later. You have to do that as part of your job as a finance manager. Okay. So three key decision areas are what? Investing, financing, dividend. And around all these decisions, you have to exercise risk management. You have to ensure that the company doesn't go aboard its risk. Okay. That's the nature and purpose of the financial management function. So, what is the relationship of financial management with financial accounting and with management accounting? Okay. So, financial accounting, it influences financial management in the following ways. So, I'll tell you how. Financial statements impact. Directors consider financing decisions effect on financial statements. Example, leases which are greater than 12 months. They increase the reported financial gearing. Okay. So, because they are going to be reported as financial liabilities, leases which are greater. So, you might have learned it in FR. It's okay even if you haven't, just to give you context. Leases which are greater than 12 months, they will get reported as financial liabilities. And that, when you calculate maybe your current ratio or maybe, sorry, your gearing ratio, that will get reflected as a liability and increase your gearing ratio. So, financial accounting, the policies which you are following in financial accounting, it affects your financial management principles also. Then, ratio analysis consideration. Directors assess investment decisions' impact on key ratios like return on capital employed for efficient capital use. So, directors, they closely monitor the financial statements to calculate the key ratios like current ratio, return on capital employed. So, to understand how well they are managing the working capital or how well the capital which has been invested by the shareholders is being utilized in the company. Okay. So, that is the financial statements impact and the ratio analysis consideration. which you have to consider, I mean, which creates a relationship between financial accounting and financial management. Next is the relationship of financial management with management accounting. What is management accounting? It's basically about your management, what they look at, maybe the cost reports and all. So, management accounting aids the financial manager in various ways: budgeting insights, identifying potential cash deficits or surpluses during budgeting helps the financial manager plan financing or investments. So when you know that, okay, the management has got so much budget only, accordingly, you can take your decisions, how much you want to finance and how. Okay. So identify potential cash deficit. So if the company is going to going to face cash deficit, then it is your job as a finance manager to ensure that you get the finance which the company would require. So you cannot let the company go bust. So identifying potential cash deficits, surpluses during budgeting helps the financial manager plan financing or investments. Then cost breakdown for decision making. Analyzing costs into fixed and variable elements provides valuable information for financial management decisions. So, under management accounting, you would be doing that if you're studying the PM paper. You're going to split the expenses into fixed and variable. And this split, it helps the finance manager also. Then variance analysis for cost control. Variance analysis is a dedicated chapter. 2-3 chapters cover variance analysis in the PM paper. This type of variance analysis is instrumental in controlling costs for the new projects. Okay. So that is the relationship of financial management with financial accounting and management accounting. Please go through it. Let me know if it's clear. Any point that you want to make, anything that you're not understanding, just let me know. Current liabilities are not included in gearing ratio. We will be doing a chapter on ratio analysis, and there I'm going to tell you that the formula of gearing ratio is debt by debt plus equity, and debt means long-term debt. And current ratio, when you calculate, then you use the current assets by current liabilities, and that will include just the short-term current liabilities. Got it? Okay. So relationship, I hope it is clear. Very simple anyways. Strategy. A strategy is an action plan to achieve an objective varying in duration. Okay, the duration could change from company to company. It could be short term strategy, long term strategy. So, corporate strategies guiding the overall direction of an organization can be long term. So, corporate strategy, which is about the long term vision, which the company wants to achieve, that tends to be long term. But generally, strategies can be of varying duration, short, medium, long term. Example: a 10-year strategy for a car manufacturer may center on sustainable energy, collective transportation ownership, and driving automation, shaping investments and action towards these goals. So, this is a long term strategy. What the company wants to do in 10 years, okay, that they have to focus on sustainable energy. Thinking from long term, because these non renewable sources of energy, they are going to deplete one day. So, you have to increase the reliance on sustainable energy, on renewable energy. Then, collective transportation ownership, how you can change the transportation landscape of the country. For example, you will see so many electric vehicles coming in India also now. It's changing the transportation landscape of the company of the country, right? Driving automation, how much automation you can do. You can see Tesla, all automatic cars are coming up. Who thought one day that there could be driverless cars? But it's happening. These are automation which is happening, and this must have been a part of Tesla's long-term vision that this is what they want to achieve 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line. And who knows what they're going to do in the next 15 years. So, shaping investments and actions towards these goals. Okay, so they have to take actions which support these strategies. Okay, now corporate objectives. Corporate objectives pertain to the entire organization and often encompass a range of goals such as profit targets, market share goals, like what is the profit that they want to achieve? What is the market share that they want to achieve? So I'll tell you, for example, over here. Profit goals is easy to understand. I'll explain about market share goals. So let me take you to Google again. I'll keep sharing such examples from my work ex also, maybe some outside. So Pernod Ricard, market leader in India. Okay, I'll show you some news articles. Uh, yeah, look at this. Very recent, 12th November 2024. It's just about a month back. Pernod Ricard has become the largest Indian spirit maker in India in terms of revenue, with a consolidated sales revenue of 26,773 crores in financial year 24, pushing its rival. So our competition is Diageo owned United Spirits. So Diageo owned United Spirits to the second spot according to a regulatory filing. USL reported 26,018 crores in revenue from operations for the fiscal ended 31st March as per the regulatory filing. So Pernod Ricard became the market leader. It had the highest revenue in the alcobev in the spirits industry. So PRI, Pernod Ricard India, has reported an overall 6.9% increase in its revenue from operations for financial year 24. And its profit rose 20.9% to 1621 crores, according to the ROC data accessed by this platform. The total income of PRI surged 7% for the financial year. So this is the total income. This is revenue from operations. So total income includes other income also. Whereas USL reported a total income of 26,243 crores. So companies pursue this internally also. We pursue the target that, okay, we have to increase our market share, because only when you're increasing the market share, then only you gain, right? So that's about Pernod Ricard India, which owns popular brands like Absolute, Chivas Regal, Glenlivet, is a fully owned subsidiary of Pernod Ricard South Asia, which is a step down of the French spirits maker. So the headquarters of our company is based in France. Coming back. So market share goals. We pursue this, that okay, we have to become market leaders. Then share price growth. The share price of, let's say Reliance is currently something 1300. Reliance must have a target internally that, okay, we have to increase our share price to, let's say, 1400, giving just for example, by the end of the next year. So this type of a target is set, and this is a part of corporate objective. Okay. Then addressing local and environmental concerns. Now let me show you a few things here. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has always been in the news for some sort of environmental issues that it is causing. It keeps happening all the time. So, there was a case against Coca-Cola which was done for depleting the water of Kaveri River. Anyways, there's a big fight between the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu regarding the Kaveri water. And then companies like Coca-Cola, the Pepsi, they extract so much water from the rivers. So it depletes the natural resources. So there was some sort of a case against the companies, and it's an old one. But just to tell you for context that when you are a company, you can't just focus on profits. You as finance managers, you have to see what impact it is creating on the society, what impact it is creating on the environment. And there's a new concept called ESG, environment, social, and governance, that is very popular in corporates now. Okay. So recently, I have done special, you know, lectures for VGLD on this topic, ESG, because it's a hot topic. You might just have a look at its teaser video on the VGLD YouTube channel also. But that is how important it is. Everyone wants to learn about it. So you, as finance managers, have to understand that you do not just have to look at profit goals. It's no longer like that. You have to look at the impact that it is creating on society and the environment also. Okay. One more thing. Okay, one more issue. I'll just take you back to Google now. Coca-Cola, environmental issues, plastic pollution. You know, right? Bottles, they are of plastic. And these are the two of the world's top plastic polluters, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Okay, they were slapped with a lawsuit alleging exaggerated recycling claims and downplayed health effects. And just look at the images. There are some, scary images. Seas are flowing with plastic bottles and whatnot. So it is causing so much damage to the environment. So that's something which the companies, of course, they are tracking. And because there is so much awareness of the public around environment now, these companies, they are bound to take actions to prevent the harm that they are causing. Okay. So addressing local and environmental concerns here also, local point, I'll give you one example. So this happened when I was working in the company. There was, I don't remember which factory or what, but it came in the news also. There was one plant, it was leaking some sort of chemical, and I don't really remember how it ended, who won the lawsuit or and all, but there was a case against it. So there was some leakage which was happening out of the factory premises of one of the Coca-Cola factories. Okay. And the farmland was getting contaminated. So then again, there were some concerns, lawsuits happened. So you have to be very careful about the local impact also. Okay, what impact that you are creating on the society, the locality. Then maintaining a contented workforce, that you also have to understand that it's a part of the overall corporate objective. Companies with a high labor turnover ratios, what do you think is the situation of such companies? Let's come back to Google again. Look at this. Financial year 23, the attrition rate mean the people who are leaving the company. The attrition rate for RIL was 42% in financial year 23, with 167,000 employees leaving the company. Okay. Then financially, this is voluntary separations actually. So companies, they track this. Okay. And whenever the attrition is too high, that means people who are leaving the company, they become too high, it becomes very disturbing situation for the company, because when an employee leaves, with them goes away the experience that they have gained in the company. Okay, what they know about the company. So it's not good if the employees are leaving too soon. So you have to make sure that the employees, they have a contented and sustainable stability in the company. Okay, so it's not like you're making them burn out, and because ultimately when they find a good opportunity, they'll make a move. They'll no longer be loyal if you're making them burn out, or if you're not paying them properly. So okay, you might say that I am doing cost cutting, I'm reducing the increments just to make sure that the company becomes more profitable. But then you have to look at the impact that it will create on the contentment of the workforce, right? Then meeting both short term targets and long term plans. So, corporate objectives, as part of that, you have to meet the short term targets as well as the long term plans of the company. Okay, so these objectives, they can be categorized as follows: profit goals, that means goals which directly enhance the profits, such as cost reduction measures. Okay, like I was telling you that you're not giving increments because you want to reduce the costs and therefore increase profitability. So these objectives which we have covered, you can consider them anywhere it can be placed. I'm just giving you examples. Profit goals, then surrogate profit goals. So indirectly contribute to increased profits, like maintaining a contented workforce. So if you are giving your employees good salary, then it will indirectly contribute to increase of profits, because when they're happy, they're staying back, they will contribute with a much more contented heart to the work. Then constraints on profit. So constraints on profit meaning objectives that limit profits, such as ensuring operations do not harm the environment. So there will be some activities. So you have to set up a sewage treatment plant. You have to set up an effluent treatment plant. So these are objectives. You are addressing the environmental concerns, but that is going to put a constraint on profit. You have to do it to address the local and environmental concerns. Okay, like setting up sewage treatment plant STP or effluent treatment plant ETP, so that you're not releasing any toxic materials into the environment. And then dysfunctional goals. Sometimes goal can be dysfunctional. That means you are increasing the contentment of the workforce, but at the same time, you're reducing the profitability. So that's a dysfunction. They're not having the same end. So objectives that lack long-term benefits, for instance, okay, another example here is pursuing market leadership at any cost. Like whatever happens, I'm gonna give heavy discounts, but it's just gonna be my product in the market. So that you are pursuing a market share goal, but then you are deviating away from the profit targets. So that's a dysfunctional goal. Okay. So the objectives, they can be categorized like that. Okay. So a company may pursue either maximizing or satisficing these objectives. What is maximizing? Aims for the best possible outcome in achieving the objectives. And satisficing is seeks an adequate outcome that meets the objectives without necessarily optimizing for the best possible result. So different companies, they can follow either they will maximize the profits. For example, Reliance. They want to maximize. They want to just go for higher and higher profits. Satisficing Tata Group. You all should be knowing that Tata does so much of philanthropy. So they are providing adequate returns to the shareholders, but at the same time, they're not just opting for maximizing the returns. They are giving optimum results, but they are also devoting necessary funds to the different possible areas. Okay. So that is about the corporate objectives. Please tell me if it is clear. Go through it. Let me know if it's fine. Here? All right. So then we'll pause here for the day. Okay, we'll pause here and I'll mark it also that we have completed till here. Okay, so we'll pause here and then we'll meet again on Tuesday. Please Today you don't have any homework, or I'm not asking you to do any revision. Just have a relaxed time, and we'll meet again and continue. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye. And soft copy of the book. I'll ask Sandeep to do that. I can't share it, so I'll ask. I think someone have already messaged, but I'll also ask him. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. And please take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend ahead. Thank you.